Hi, true believers. This is Stan Lee, and I got to tell you, when I'm not web swinging with Spidey or busting through walls with the Hulk, I'm spending my time enjoyably listening to the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve.
That's awesome.
Due to the adult subject matter of the following program, some listeners may find the content offensive, outrageous, or unsuitable. You know, like religious freaks, uptight losers, or little wussy mama's boys. Please listen responsibly.
You're listening to the Vocal Minority with Nick Reynolds and Steve Harness.
Hot. How much time?
You're hot.
I love scotch. I love scotch. Scotchy, scotch, scotch. Here it goes down into my belly. That is good.
You're on the air.
How are you? You look awfully nice tonight. Maybe don't wear a bra next time. How much time till we're on? What?
We're on the air right now.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Yes, indeed, he's up. He's ready to jump on in and say hello. It's the Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve. Nick Reynolds and Steve Harness.
Harness, like you put on a horse.
Yes, harness like you put on a horse. Brewski.
Hi there.
Like you put on a horse or like you put on your favorite podcast list. So thank you for doing that.
Ride with us for a couple hours, will you?
Please. Welcome back. Yes. TheVocalMinority.net is the main website for this show, and you can find us on all the social media platforms. I have been slacking this past week. My humble apologies to all, but more new clips to come, everybody.
Thanks, Steve.
Hey, you're welcome. I try. Sometimes I have to do things in life, though, besides this.
It
do? Pains me, but yeah. Well, I have a real job, and then I have another job that I'm doing nowadays, and that's just shoveling snow constantly. So.
Yeah, Tahoe has just been pummeled with snowfall like I've never seen. I mean, you've obviously... How long have you been in Tahoe now? For like 15 years? 16?
15. It'll be 16 this summer.
Is this the worst or close? What?
This it's 2017. Everyone talks about as being the most epic winter around here, and this has to match it thus far. So yeah, I mean, this has been a monumental winter. I mean, over 300 inches of snow. I've gotten 6 or 7 feet at my house in the past week or so, and I'm just. I part of me feels like it's a metaphor for my life. I go outside, I do all this work, and then I come out the next day and you can't tell I did anything. It's just all right back where I started the day before.
You're being buried. It's a whack-a-mole snow removal. That's what you should name your new company, dude. I saw you started a new company, Whack-a-Mole Snow Removal.
Yeah, every now and again on Facebook I go on with big life announcements that are usually actually big life announcements. But yesterday I announced to everyone, I got a new full-time job, everybody. It's called Steve's Snow Removal Service.
Yes.
I have one client. He pays me very poorly, and his last name rhymes with bizarreness.
It's Harness.
Harness, like you put on a horse.
Yeah, we get it, dude.
Right. Where the hell is that clip from? How old is that?
It's real old, dude.
Yeah.
I was listening to some really funny stuff, dude, and I don't know when our balls dropped, but it was well into our 20s.
Yeah, I've been wondering about that because I listen to some of the old stuff, and I feel like our voices have changed a lot. I don't know if that's smoking, vaping, just getting older, wiser, but yeah.
It could be all of it.
Although I don't feel like your voice changed as much as my voice. Is that just how my ear hits it? Do you feel the same way? Or?
My voice has changed, but not as much as your voice, in my opinion.
No, I agree. Yeah. Brewski, I don't know. I mean, in my head, you sound the same over all these years, but who knows?
He sounds the same because when we started with him, he was in his 30s already, right?
yeah, it's a lot older.
Your balls dropped.
Yeah, his balls had already dropped.
Yes.
Speaking of snow removal, it sounds like you were doing some in Boston as well. Has it been snowing there?
Nothing like Harness is been experiencing, but you know, you just got to clear it out. And
what are we talking about? How many inches or whatever?
Minimal, like not even an inch, 2 inches here, and it's like an inch or two here and there. It's nothing like we're accustomed to. It's been a very odd winter because I mean we've had some days that it's like in the 50s, and it's like it's never that warm here during the winter.
Are we talking like wet, heavy snow or light, flaky snow? What kind?
Kind of a little bit of a mixture of both. One time it'll be the light stuff, and the next time it's the wet heavy stuff. We tend to get a little more of the wet heavy stuff where I live because we're not too far from the beach, right by the ocean, so we get the ocean air.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I was worried we'd have to come on the show this week and mourn the loss of any three of us, because I think all three of us could have died in this past week between snow in the mountains here, snow in Boston with Brewski, and we'll get into your story. And Nick has had epic rainstorms, windstorms, trees falling down. I mean, what the fuck is going on?
Global warming, dude.
Yeah.
It's time to start believing in it, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Nick, turn your mic up just a click. Yeah, I will tell you, people, I hear a lot of people say, like, oh, so the planet's warmed up a degree or two. What difference does that make? And I'll tell you, up here in the mountains, it makes all the difference in the world between rain and snow, or wet, heavy snow and light, flaky snow, and heart attack snow, or powder snow to ski in.
Joe Rogan's got a great clip that I see from time to time where he has Candace Owens on his show, and he's talking to her about global warming. And he was like, oh, so what do you just don't believe in global warming? And she was like, nope, I don't. And he was like, how come? And she was like, I just don't. It was like, but why? What makes you think that it's not a real thing? And she was like, I just don't think it's real.
Politics.
I was like, yeah, that is the mentality of a lot of, seems to be conservatives these days. I don't want
to get too scientific, but snow, water, ice has melting points, and if you go above or below it, things happen. So 1 degree or 2 does actually make a difference.
It's just cyclical, Steve.
Yeah.
All of life is cyclical. Come on.
Your mic still needs to go up another notch. You feel faint to me.
What's going on here? Is that better?
Yeah.
I mean, I got it jacked, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, well, it's
What's your input?
That's all the way up right now.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
That's better, actually.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm peeking out. I don't know what the hell happened to my mic. I did a radio show earlier. Everything was perfect.
That's weird. And it definitely sounds like there's a hurricane in your room, but that's all right. We're going to work through all of this. So
gonna rock you like a hurricane.
That's right, baby. So I don't know. Let's start with the least deadly of the three of us. Nick, how's your West Coast weather experience been treating you with tree removals instead of snow removals?
Yeah, well, we had 80-mile-an-hour winds, which, I mean, I'm on a piece of property. I have an acre of property, and both of these guys know. It's just covered in trees. I mean, old-growth trees that are hundreds of feet tall. So, it was not fun being in the house for that because my house is all windows. So you can't get away from it. You're just watching the trees dance out there. And I know it's good that they're moving. It's good that they dance. They're not going to fall. But I lost a few trees on the property. And then I realized I lost a tree over where I exit my driveway, and I didn't realize it because other trees are holding it up. So it could fall at any moment. It's just resting on the branches of another tree.
Yeah, what's the plan there?
Yeah, this morning I went online. I got a chainsaw. I cut trees down. I don't know how to get to this one because it's up on a hill in a weird area. I don't have a place to run after I cut it. And, yeah, I think I'm going to call someone. Have you guys ever heard of tree barber chairing?
No. I got a lot of tree removal things in this because we live in the forest up here, and it's not cheap, by the way. I'm sorry in advance. But I don't know what barber chairing is, no.
Yeah, barber chairing happens a lot with alders, apparently. And you cut the tree, and as you're cutting the tree, it breaks off about 10 feet up. Like it breaks in half about 10 feet up, and then the tree just falls wherever it wants to. And they call it barber chairing because they used to lay barber chairs like way back so you could shave a man in the chair. Yeah. So the tree actually does that. It just like lays way back. And I watched a couple of videos of trees barber chairing and falling on people and crushing them to death.
I got you. All right.
I'm not going to
try to avoid that.
Yeah, I won't do it.
Not to say you're not a professional, but is a professional needed for this particular project?
And I am not a professional. I mean, I can do about the size, I don't know, 5-6 inches around is what they say. You should only cut a tree 6 inches in diameter if you're not a professional.
I see.
So yeah, and I try and stay right around there.
So you've been playing with your 6-inch wood all week. That's cool.
Well, it's better than a 3-inch wood, dude.
I've been playing with my 8-inch wood all week, so it's all good. Well, I'm glad you survived. Part of me thinks, those trees have been there forever, right? They've survived countless storms. But then I think that just means it's any day now, right?
Just like our bodies, dude, as we get older, we get more and more frail. Like we're just waiting to die.
I have got on my garage at this house I'm at. It has a flat roof on the garage, which is really unheard of up here in the mountains. It was a terrible design because this house I'm in, as you can see, is an A-frame. It's a metal roof. I've been hearing snow sliding off all day, which is good, so your house doesn't get crushed. But my garage has a flat roof, and I was standing next to it, like level with the roof line, and the snow is over my head, and I'm 6'2". So there's 7 feet of snow surrounding an entire 2-car garage. So I don't know how many cubic feet that is, but it's a lot of snow.
Yeah.
And the neighbors, fuck yeah, it is. And we got a lot of wet, heavy snow in those layers. And my neighbors told me that no one's ever done snow removal up on that garage, and it survived all these winters so far. So I'm like, well, does that mean I'm foolproof, or it's just inevitable? Like the woods.
It's inevitable, dude. I hate to tell you that.
I did say that there's some big ass piers inside that garage. Like it is well reinforced, but my precious dirt bike is in that garage, so I'm a little nervous about it.
It's what insurance is for, dude.
Yeah, I know. The neighbor told me to bring the bike inside my house. I'm like, first of all, how would I get it up my 30 flight of stairs?
Second of all, I've already got a bike in my house.
I do already have a bike in my house, but this one doesn't have an engine in it, so it doesn't smell of gas and oil and all that. And this one's easy to take apart because it's all stripped down, so I can bring it upstairs like this. But
doesn't the smell of gas and oil make a brapper like you a little horny?
It makes me a little horny. I don't know about my house guests, my kids, or anyone else. So,
who pays the rent?
Yeah, that's fair.
Damn.
There are a lot of guys that are bike builders for professional living, and they keep their best bike parts, or even their most cherished bikes in the house, like in the living room. And like you hear the women that they dated or they're married to saying, when I met him, all the motorcycles were inside the house, and they didn't go outside to ride.
When I first got divorced, my first house didn't have a garage, and I had this crazy plan of like the third bedroom. Sorry, kids, you're sleeping in the same room because that third room's going to be, my dirt bike room. But yeah, that didn't pan out. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm sorry. Just real quick. I don't know. It's just because I have headphones on, but your wind noise is getting a little weird.
Mine?
Yeah, Brewski. What do you think?
I mean, I hear it blowing, but I'm just kind of leaving it alone. I don't know. Does Nick have some sort of heating on or something like that?
I have nothing on. Here, give me a second, guys. You talk amongst yourselves.
Sure. I mean, we can just pause right now, but I don't know what to tell you, dude. It's a little obnoxious. Like I said, I got headphones on, so.
It sounds like there's a fan on or something like that, doesn't it?
Well, Nick does blow me away constantly. That doesn't mean I need the sound effects to go.
He is an impressive broadcast professional, so.
Yes, that is fair. So.
I mean, heck, he interned for Danny Holiday.
Yeah, the world famous, legendary Danny Holiday. And Nick, of course, has been a mentor to so many broadcasters over the years. I just want to make sure you're maintaining a level of professionalism for this show.
Did you ever get to hear Danny Holiday broadcast?
Did I what?
Did you ever get to hear Danny Holiday broadcast?
Yeah, when I first got to Seattle, he was still on the air, but only for like a couple of weeks. Like it was his retirement as I first showed up there, and so I heard him a few times.
I never have. I'm only going off of the impression that Nick does of him.
Yeah.
So I mean, same thing with like Pat O'Day. I mean, I always heard other people talk about Pat O'Day and. How when he was at KJR and that was like the biggest station in Seattle and the hydro races and all that sort of thing. I think the closest I've come to hearing like broadcast like royalty in that particular city is like Kent Phillips,
Yes. I've heard Nick broadcast, so that's broadcast royalty as far as I'm concerned. Enough of the old generation. It was so weird having, Nick and I were by far the youngest dudes at that radio station. And the other guys were, legends to some extent. But, they were
Rock and Randy Lundquist.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Christopher and Fast Phillips and, Ryan and Ryan in the morning and Joe Cooper and, Danny Holiday. All of the legends. And I know it's driving Nick crazy not to be able to chime in on this conversation. So
Yeah, because he's the local. He was there for all of it.
right. And of course, Marina Rockinger,
Yes.
news traffic lady. I told Nick years ago, and I think this disturbed him, that one of my nicknames for my junk is Marina Cockinger. Just what I call my junk every now and again. Like, Marina Cockinger's doing pretty good today.
I'm trying to think. She actually worked over at, what do you call it, too? When I was over at Star. She was over there too.
Yes.
And then now I think she works for Spirit 105.3.
No, is that some religious bullshit or what?
Yeah, it's a Christian station. It's north of it's like up in Shoreline and that sort of thing. And it's owned by like Christos Church or something like that. I don't know. But
Marina still works over at Como.
Oh, okay.
It's worse?
Yes.
It is?
Oh,
I
got it was Anna Kelly who works up at Spirit, not Marina. Pardon my error. Thank you.
Oh, how dare you? Okay.
I know.
Let's just say I hadn't heard from Marina in forever until I bought a radio station, and then she was like, "Hey, Steve, how you doing?"
Hey, you looking for a voice tracker?
Yeah, she's like, "I can do remote work," I'm like, "Okay."
Okay, thank you very much.
I can appreciate, but
did you at least hear from Frank Shires?
No, I didn't know Frank very well. So
you could tell us some stories about driving around with Sarah Beth in the backseat trying to get her to sleep and that sort of thing.
Nice.
When I first filled in for Ed over at KVSG, he came in one night and it was like, I don't know, 2 or 3 in the morning. And I'm like, you know how you sometimes you're sitting in the studio and you're just kind of like zoned out, you're doing whatever, it's overnight.
Sure.
And then somebody quietly walks in and you're like, how the hell did you get in here?
Yes.
You're in a 24-hour business, but you don't expect people to come in. And he sat there for like 2 hours, just like talking my ear off. And he came in.
That's how Ed and I became friends. He would just wander in the studio and sit there. So yeah.
Well, Ed was the one that warned me about Frank Shires.
Nice. What, Nick?
Can you hear me now? All better?
No more wind, but your levels are too low, so get those jacked up a notch.
One. Hello.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
It's not as aesthetically impressive, but you sound good, so that's all we care about.
That's all I care about, dude. All right. I don't have anything to hold this microphone.
No, you don't. You might need to shove a dirty.
You're like a wife, dude. You're too loud. You're too quiet.
I am like your wife. I want you to look good when we're in public. Okay? Is it so bad?
How's that? Is that better?
I think so. Brewski, say hello real quick, so I compare.
Sounds really good. Hello.
Sounds really good.
Okay, now we're back on track.
Yeah.
Fucking A. I don't know, like I was saying before we hit record, like, we're all actually professional broadcasters with real equipment. I don't know why we keep having troubles with it.
I don't either.
But we do. I'm on my 3rd microphone already, and I just, like you said, I just need to buy a new one, apparently, because they're old.
I don't know. This Yeti Nano that Nick suggested to me has been working really well for me.
No, that's good. And yours is new. Nick and I are trying to use mics that we've had around the studios forever. So,
and professional ones that cost a lot of money, too.
Right. Yes, this mic I'm using right now is the most expensive mic I've ever had, and it's dirty. I can hear the crickle crack because it's old.
Yeah, of course.
But whatever. All right. Can we get back on track now?
Yeah, we're back in action, and we should go back and hear about what the weather's been like in Boston for Brewski.
I want to continue our near-death experiences. So
it's time for another Brewski. This one is a crazy Brewski.
Yep. So, Brewski, how's your snow removal going this week?
Well, it's not heavy like you have, and it's just kind of light. It wasn't that bad. I was just kind of clearing it out because it melts and then it ices over here really bad because one day it'll be warm and everything melts, and the next day it's like 20 in the teens and everything freezes over.
Sure. Okay. So not epic snow, but you're getting snow.
Yeah, exactly. So yesterday I was doing a little bit of snow cleanup before I was ready to kind of do the show. Right. And I got a text from you guys. This one we're going to do the show, and because Steve had lost power.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, no problem. And then I knew in my head, okay, I had a certain amount of time to get stuff done. And then I'm shoveling, and then out of nowhere, everything starts going haywire. Like my heart,
Flatline.
no, it's racing. Like it's like I'm running sprints in the Olympics.
What,
So, hold on.
180 beats a minute your heart got up to, didn't it?
Exactly.
So, but wait, it just all of a sudden took off on you? It wasn't that you were overexerting, it just you were already doing activity and then
Exactly.
Wow.
So that's what's weird about. So I have AFib, atrial fibrillation, and what that means is that, like, so when you have electrical pulses that go across your heart, they follow a certain track and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then because of my other condition, cardiomyopathy, it fucks with those tracks. And then what happens is it gets derailed. And then as soon as there's a derailment, the pulse doesn't get through, your heart tries to catch up. Well, the next thing you know, it's out of control and it's going haywire. And
Gotcha.
and then so my device in my chest only knows one thing to do when my heart is either beating too fast or too slow, and that is to bam and shock me.
Shock it back into appropriate rhythm, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. You've got a defibrillator implanted in your chest, and
I do.
How long have you had that? Like 20 years or something, right? I mean,
yeah, since February of 2000.
Okay, so yeah,
and actually, the one that's in now it's been replaced since about 4 times. Since
over those 20 plus years, 4 times.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they have to replace them. They used to be every 4 years. So every 4 years I had to go back in, and they had to, do a little slice and get my device out and put a new one in. And
yeah, you had it done recently. Is it just for a battery swap, or do they give you a brand new machine with fully charged batteries?
It's a brand new unit is what they put in there.
Wow.
Because at that point there, it may have been improved.
Right, it's like a new iPhone. You get the upgrade, better battery life, better power.
Exactly. Although the new one now is, they say 10 years on the battery life now.
And you're not far off, though, Steve. This thing does connect to Wi-Fi. Like Brewski was able to have doctors look at it,
remotely
at the hospital remotely, right?
Yeah. So you're out shoveling snow, your heart starts racing, and you get shocked.
Yes.
Damn.
Did you fall down?
Yes.
Yeah, I
I'm
figured.
just saying, we've seen you. I don't know about Nick, but we've seen you at least once at the radio station, and I remember you just hitting the floor, catching your breath. Like, describe. And I'm not trying to torture you, but kind of describe how that feels, what it does to you.
It feels like you get hit with a sledgehammer in your chest, because it just boom, it throws you in. My sister will tell you, she was in front of me one time when I got shocked, when my heart was at 220 beats a minute, and she swears that when I got shocked, she felt a force coming off my chest.
Damn.
And hit her in the face.
Wow.
Like an
you told the story before about having sex and it goes off, and the woman can feel the transference of energy, which is mind-blowing scientifically to me.
Yeah, well, even one time I got shocked and I was unsteady on my feet, and Jen had kind of grabbed my arms to steady me, and I got shocked, and it threw me back into an office chair in our apartment. And she felt it then, not full brunt from like I got, but she felt it hit, and she like pulled her hands back like that.
It's crazy that it's someone externally can feel it or sense it. I mean, and then you have to feel that internally. I mean, damn.
Yeah, now there are times when I know it's going to happen. Like I've had it happen at work.
Yeah, I was going to say, you didn't feel this coming on yesterday, right? Or you didn't think you were getting to that point where you could get shocked?
Yeah, exactly. So there are times when, like, you can feel that you're in AFib, and it's not like anything over like 120 beats a minute, which is not that bad, because that's almost like, you're really working out and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then what happens is like, it'll beat out of rhythm, and it'll just keep beating and beating and beating, and like you get really uncomfortable. You get like really hot and sweaty, like you're working out, but all you're doing is like sitting there, and it's annoying as hell. But then once it starts to pick up a little bit, you can feel something's going to happen, and you're going to get shocked. And the best thing you can do at that point is to sit down someplace, or in my case, if I'm home, I will lay down. Yeah. Because then that way, if I get shocked, I'm in a safe spot and I'm good.
So you hit the ground. You're like outside of your house, shovel in hand, and now you're just on the sidewalk or driveway or whatever?
Sidewalk. Yep.
Well, and after it happens, I mean, you feel like you got hit by a truck, and then what? You're just wiped out. You feel off for the rest of the night.
Well, so my immediate reaction is I'm pissed off, kind of like when you hit your thumb with a hammer,
Yeah,
and you're like fuck, and
yes,
but that's the adrenaline, and then like you get up and you right yourself, and I got in the house and I sat down in the living room for a few minutes, trying to kind of breathe normally and catch my breath, but it just takes everything out of you. You're just like exhausted. I mean, I slept last night after my last text message with you guys till this morning, like 7-8 o'clock, and then I was up for an hour and went back to sleep till about an hour before showtime.
Wow.
Yeah, that wipes you, dude. I get it. I understand why it would wipe you. That's crazy.
How many times do you think this has happened since you've had this defibrillator installed? Is it like once a year? Is it more often than that?
No. There was a time when so this would have been 2004 to 2005 where I was getting shocked at least once a week.
Oh, wow.
52 times a year or more. That's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, granted, part of the reason was that some of it was those were needed shocks, but then there was some of them that were unneeded because there was a problem
malfunctioning
with my defibrillator. Yeah.
Oh, jeez, that's the worst.
And so here's the funniest part. One time I'm sitting in my apartment and I can hear beep, 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 beep. I'm like, what is that noise? And I kept thinking it's something outside, like a truck backing up or something.
Right.
But then I get all quiet. I turn the speakers on my computer. And I was like, wait a minute, that noise is coming from my chest. So I call my device. I call the people who make it, and they said, oh, that means that your power plant needs to be changed. And I said, okay, well, how do I know when it needs to be? And she's like, oh, it could be, it could be like 2 weeks. It could be 3 months.
Oh.
It's tough to say. And then this was the first year I was with Jen, and every morning at the same time at like 5 a.m, my chest would start beeping while we were still in bed.
Like the inconsiderate roommate with the alarm clock that goes off, that's early.
Yeah,
How long
exactly.
did it go off for?
Like 15, 20 seconds.
And she could hear it. It's not just in your own head. You can hear it.
No, she could hear it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to have a relationship anymore. You're just too disrespectful in the morning, dude.
Can you just like stick your finger in a socket and recharge it or something? I mean,
nothing like that at all. It's not like so. Do you know that?
No lightning charger for that thing.
Well, that movie Used Cars with Kurt Russell. Oh, it's a great movie, and it has David L. Lander and Michael McKean put a part of these tech guys who are going to help them jam a football game and then jam the presidential address to put commercials on the air. And he pulls the guy's shirt open, Michael McKean's shirt open, and he's got a defibrillator, but it's got like a charging cables that stick out. Yeah. And he's like, how do you charge that thing up? How do you get those batteries? And he's like, rechargeable batteries.
That's crazy. How often has this happened to you in a situation where it truly saved your life versus you were just overexerting yourself and, oh, shit, it shocked you?
All of them save his life, dude.
Yeah, well, but the one since 2005, when I got the new device in 2005, that's when things really kind of got, I guess I got more bad information about my heart after 2005. So going forward, that's when things for me really kind of felt like they were really serious, So
you're saying, or Nick's saying for you, like yesterday, if you didn't have that defibrillator and your heart got up to that rate, you could have died? Like there's no acceptable threshold where your heart rate can get up to 150, 180, and you come back down like normal.
It just can't find the rhythm again though without it, right?
You can get into something that's called tachycardia, and that means that your heart just keeps beating and beating and beating and beating and beating and beating, and then eventually it will shut down. Actually,
wow.
One of the things about I have this thing called cardiomyopathy, and I'm at an extreme high risk for sudden cardiac death because of it.
Jeez, man. So you really could have died yesterday, you're telling me?
I could have, yes.
Damn. Has it ever gone off because your heart rate's too slow, or is it always fast?
Nope.
How does it get so slow?
So that's the other thing with cardiomyopathy is that sometimes your heart will just start beating real slow, and then I have my right ventricle in my heart doesn't do the work that it's supposed to. So then the rest of my heart is kind of like, listen, I'm tired. I'm going to take 5 here, and then it'll stop. And that's primarily what my defibrillator was there for, because it was slowing down and stopping completely. Sometimes doing nothing, other times doing something.
Damn. So are you invincible with this thing, or can you still have a heart problem that could kill you?
Well,
I mean, I don't mean literally invincible, but you know what I mean. Like, is this going to save you 9 times out of 10, or how does that work?
It's going to save me. My device is going to save me. Although they do say that once your heart is completely kaput, no amount of shocking is going to,
and does your heart though have a normal heart lifespan or whatever, or
no, not with cardiomyopathy? Because cardiomyopathy, what it does is that it slowly kind of hardens your heart, so it's not like it literally turns it to stone.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah.
Why are you taking this to such a depressing area, Steve?
Sorry.
I'm fascinated by it. I don't think it's depressing. I mean, this is
that we're going to lose Brewski before we probably should. Isn't it depressing to you?
Well, we should be chronicling this so we can play it back at your funeral. Look, see, we've talked about this. Like, no, obviously I don't want you to die, but this is a fascinating thing that you have a defibrillator in your chest and you have these issues and you get shocked and you can transfer energy. Like, it's interesting.
I've been flirting with the idea of getting a Tony Stark tattoo in the center of my chest.
Yes, little arc reactor there.
Yeah, exactly. I even looked them up online. Some people actually have them where it looks like Iron Man's chest in the center of your chest.
It'd be nice if it would like flash for you when it's about to go off or something.
Yeah.
Get
a little warning.
Yeah. But you I can usually tell when I know something's up. And when it's happened at work, I just find someplace kind of secluded if I can, because I don't want anybody coming over asking me questions or anything.
Sure.
And I'll just kind of sit down and kind of like hold the chair and kind of brace myself and wait for it to happen.
Damn, dude.
It's a lot to deal with, dude. Have you, there are therapy dogs that can anticipate like low blood sugar or a seizure coming.
Yeah,
right?
they smell it coming on. Yeah.
And how about for you, dude? Could you get a therapy dog, do you think, for this, that they could sense maybe that your heart was about and you're gonna need a shock, or
I
about to
probably could, but I don't know if I'm
is that
at that
thing?
point.
Have you heard of that?
For my condition, no. I have heard it on other things, because they say that your body chemistry changes when those things are about to happen, and the dog can actually smell it on you. And then, like with the seizures in particular, they'll come over and they'll start to kind of gnaw on your hand a little bit to give you a warning that, hey, listen, we got a problem here.
Yeah, paw at you for you to lay down, get in a safe space.
I had a neighbor in Seattle that had a seizure dog, and because he had serious tonic-clonic seizures, and his dog could smell when a seizure was within 30 seconds.
Wow.
It's crazy, dude. The dogs are crazy. I mean, just in general, we don't deserve them as humans, but there's dogs out there now that they have trained to smell cancer in someone's body.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
Like that. I mean, it's incredible, dude.
Yeah. And you told us off air, you just had a stress test last week. Is that like you see in the movies on the treadmill and you got all the wires hooked up to you and that kind of thing?
Yes, I did. Yeah. But the I thought mine was going to be like they're going to have you running on the treadmill for a long time.
Yeah, that's
and
just in general, that would suck.
Yeah, but they did. I was only on the treadmill for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Because they just want to get certain pictures of your heart, and so they get it moving. Not nothing too bad, but it was enough to get my heart racing. But then they also give me a drug that like opens all my vessels up, and my heart at that point is pumping major amounts of blood. And
how does that not trigger it? Do they shut it down or something? The defibrillator?
Oh no, but so it's not pumping faster so much. Oh, really, it doesn't speed it up. It just opens the arteries up.
Just jogging though, do they keep you in a safe range? Do they not let you get too high up there?
Well, they have me. I'm on like the wires and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And there's 3 people there, like each one has their own part of the job, because one person has to come over and inject the drugs into me, because they put these nuclear tracers that they put in use. So
But how do they keep your defibrillator from going off while you're jogging, exerting yourself?
Well, I wasn't. They didn't get me up past 120 beats a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, and so
and if it goes off, it goes off, I would assume.
Well, I'm right there. And I'm actually at this point. I'm at Mass General Hospital, which is one of the best hospitals in the world. I mean, people come from all over the world to get medical care at this particular hospital.
I guess if it's going to happen, that's the place to do it. But
yeah, exactly.
And did the test come out clear?
I don't know. They have to let me know, because what they did was they gave me the tracer, and then they did a scan of my heart to see what my heart looked like before I did the stress test. Then I sat down for a few minutes. Then they put me back in for the stress test with the tracer and all that sort of thing. And then they did another scan of me to see like a before and after sort of thing.
Really?
So they could look at pictures of it on and see it. Yeah.
You're like the $6 million man.
I wish, yeah.
Right. Although I heard Mark Wahlberg is remaking that movie, and it's going to be called the $6 billion man, because $6 million, what is that nowadays, right?
Yeah, I know.
We'd all be bionic if it only cost $6 million. So
yeah, exactly.
Or every rich person would be, at least. So.
Try getting insurance to pay for that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, wow, dude. Wow. I mean, I have nothing but just. I almost said heartache for you. That'd be a bad choice of word. Sorry. I feel badly that you have to go through the shit and that you're out shoveling and you end up face first in your driveway. Like, damn, dude, I'm so sorry.
Well, ordinarily, here's the thing. This is so awful to say this, but a few years ago, my sister and I decided that we were done shoveling, because we have a neighbor who owns a landscaping company, and during the winter, there's no landscaping to do, so he keeps his guys busy by doing snow removal.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we pay for snow removal at our house. But when it's something like that, like little piddly sort of thing, we don't have that. I mean, we just take care of ourselves. So I'm just glad that it was just something small like that,
Yeah, jeez.
You ended up all right. Well,
yeah.
A little worried about you, Brewski. Glad you're feeling a little bit better today.
Yeah. I'm feeling a lot better than I did yesterday.
Nice.
Good.
Well,
good.
Yeah.
All right. I feel guilty now whining about my snow removal.
No, there's a lot of snow you guys have.
Yeah, it's been a lot for sure. And I always joke that every time I go out there, I'm afraid I'm going to have a heart attack just because I'm getting older and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm doing all right. So.
What was it you and I were talking about pre-show about as far as the amount of snow that you guys are normally be getting percentage-wise?
Yeah, they do it throughout the season. They have a certain designated spot around here where they measure the snowpack. And for years and years, it's always been, since that 2017 winter, it's always 50% of normal, maybe 70 or 80% of normal. I forget the actual number, but you said you saw the news article on it. What's our current snowpack percentage?
I saw one that said 250%.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's way off the charts. And Lake Tahoe is, it's a big ass lake, but there's a natural rim to the lake, and it's over it, which it almost never is. Especially in these last several years, having a drought out west, the lake is almost always way below the natural rim. So the good news out west here is, I don't know if this is officially the drought's over, but we have more water than we know what to do with, literally, especially the rest of California, mudslides and flooding and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got plenty of snow up here. We're actually at the point where, the ski resorts are loving the snow, but we've had so much that people can't get up here. I mean, we've had, road closures, avalanches. I literally had an avalanche, a quarter mile from my house yesterday. I mean, it's craziness. So,
hey, we don't want any more people up here. These tourists, they come up on the hill, they bring their Priuses, they strap their chains on, if you're lucky.
Right.
And they drive like assholes, dude.
I can't tell you how many Teslas I have been stuck behind that have snow chains on, and you're just in over your head, man. And, Nick and I are on the radio here in town, and we have to play very nicely with the tourists because it's a big part of our economy up here. But you're on this podcast, I'll tell you, you all fucking annoy the hell out of me. I'm glad you're having fun up here, but good grief.
Hey, how many times can we say, pack it in, pack it out? You fucking assholes. Clean up after yourselves.
Stop littering. Stop graffitiing. We have people graffitiing on boulders around here. Like, fucktards. But listen, most of them are obviously good people up here to have fun. I was out shoveling the driveway yesterday for the 7,000th time, and this caravan of dudes that had to be from the Bay Area because they were driving. One was in a Tesla, one was in a Lexus, a BMW, and they came down the road and they were all hanging out the window, like taking pictures, and they just yelled at me like, "This place is awesome! How do you get by up here?" Like, yeah, I'm like, I'm glad you guys had fun. Be safe. Good luck getting home. It's going to take you 18 hours, but
Yeah,
Get the hell out of here.
right. But
Hey,
yeah,
speaking of San Francisco, dude, did you guys recently, within the past week, did you see the video of a restaurant owner, or he owned a store or something, and a homeless lady was outside and he took his clothes out and sprayed her? Did you see it?
no,
I did see that.
Describe it to me. Paint me a picture.
Dude,
Actually, he's an art gallery owner. It's next door to the restaurant. The art gallery is actually now closed permanently. He decided he didn't want to deal with people. It was like 30 degrees out, and he had a hose, and this older homeless lady is on the sitting on the ground, and he's just like cursing her out. He's spraying her with a hose.
Like, I mean, just directly in her face, and like she can't even catch her bearings. And I mean, it went on for a minute and a half. He wouldn't stop spraying her, and like Brewski said, freezing cold. And this is a new trend, by the way. I've seen this happen a couple of times over the past, couple of months. But I was watching Cuomo had who's Hardball, who's the dick,
Chris Matthews, Hardball?
No, not Hardball.
Tucker Carlson,
Bill O'Reilly.
Hannity?
Bill O'Reilly.
Oh.
Cuomo had Bill O'Reilly on, and they were talking about this. And Bill O'Reilly was somehow trying to justify
Yeah,
that. Like
I was going to say, do you want to guess what political party the store owner belongs to?
Yes, exactly. He was somehow trying to justify, like, yeah, this is kind of cruel and probably not the best idea, but what else are you going to do? Like, there is, his point was, like, there's a small gang in San Francisco of homeless people that have just completely fucking ruined this town, and the city's doing nothing about it. So people have to take it into their own hands. And
give them hypothermia. I mean,
yeah, kill them. I mean, it could have killed her, But yeah, he closed the art gallery. That's hysterical because people were coming for him. You look like a giant asshole, and hopefully, I don't know. Can you be arrested for that? I mean, that's assault, isn't it?
it's a good question. Yeah.
Well, I read an article that it was elder abuse is what the charges they were going to try and bring him up on was elder abuse.
Nice.
Good for them. And you know what? It could be a hate crime. Can we justify homeless population or mentally ill people as, a hate crime?
Yeah, good question. Well, keep an eye on that story because, I'd love to see if that guy gets prosecuted.
I hope so, dude. Just people, where is your humanity anymore? I understand wanting some things to change in your city, but come on, get it together, dude.
Yeah. Speaking of things on Fox News and whatnot that I saw this week of them all giggling at, I'm curious to get Nick Reynolds' take on this. So now that Kevin McCarthy has officially been, elected Speaker of the House, apparently those guys, they get to set rules, like building rules and all sorts of rules just on security and procedures and protocols and whatnot. So I don't know if you saw this, but they felt it was a good idea to allow smoking inside the buildings and inside all of their offices because they all want to be like they're in Mad Men sitting around their office, smoking cigars. And some douchebag went on Tucker Carlson's show and lit up, and Tucker just was like jerking himself off almost like it was so, you're sticking it to the libs, smoking inside. But our own Nick Reynolds smokes during this very show. So what's your take on that, Nick?
What a fucking joke, dude. There's a time and a place, right? The only reason I smoke here is because I built this fucking studio. I own it, and I will do it. But, like, that's so disrespectful. I'm paying for you to sit around and fucking smoke. Like, get some shit done, you assholes.
Yeah, that's to say the least. But, of course you make a valid point. This is your studio's in your house. No one else is around. These are public buildings, and there's other workers and interns and everyone else around them. I can't get over this conservative logic of I'm going to stick it to myself to stick it to the libs and make a stance. I'm smoking cigars inside.
And how fucking gross, by the way. I don't smoke. I would never smoke in my house. I mean, like that's where you're spending 8 hours.
Yes.
And there's
cigars reek.
No open windows. Like, what are you doing? What kind of point are you trying to make? You just, I don't know, dude. There's my take. Fucking assholes.
it's misogyny, personified. I'm going to be old school and smoke inside. You fucking liberals took away our ability to smoke inside.
And most of them would say, oh, smoking is so bad. They're, hey, we go to church, God doesn't want you to smoke. Like, pick a lane and stick in it,
Yeah, are you supposed to be kind to your fellow humans or not? Doesn't God mention something about that?
Yes.
I don't know. Brewski, thoughts?
Did you see what the Republicans did in Missouri?
No.
Okay, so they just passed new rules in the legislature in Missouri regulating female dress code of members, where they actually have to cover their bare arms, and then on top of that they have to wear a second layer on top of what covers their bare arms. Because I guess you see a woman's bare arms and you just immediately get wood and start jacking off. I don't know.
I know neither of you have watched Handmaid's Tale, dude, but that's.
No, I was gonna say that reeks of it though, right?
Yeah, absolutely,
does, dude. I mean, if the conservatives are to take power, that's where this country is heading, dude. I mean, that's crazy to tell a woman what to wear. Len, tell me this: have you seen an inappropriately dressed woman anywhere
on the floor?
On the floor?
Right.
Oh, I'll give you one. Right, I'll give you one real quick.
Sure.
Yeah. Kirsten Sinema. She one time in particular, this video of her where she had to like preside over the Senate for something like that, and she's sitting at the lectern where a senator would sit.
Yeah. She's in a G-string or what?
No, she's wearing a black T-shirt and a denim vest.
Okay.
Little underdressed, right?
Yeah, that's not appropriate workwear. If you're there to work, you know what I mean? I'm not saying you have to wear like a suit or anything like that, but I mean, come on, you're on the floor of the United States Senate.
That is a little weird. Was there extenuating circumstances? Was she just doing? I mean, that is kind of odd, but still.
And she sits there in the video like playing with her hair the whole time.
Yeah.
And I get it. She's really into like being fashionable and all that, and she has like 20 pairs of glasses, different colors and frames and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's like.
Now she's a jackass in general, I guess. So we should maybe ban her, but.
You know what? Women showing skin in public.
That I don't care about.
Come on, dude. It's terrible.
In case anybody doesn't know, God calls it an abomination. It's an abomination. It's an abomination.
I will never understand why the 51% of our population that has a uterus doesn't stand up and take over this goddamn country already.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, other than, you know what, there's been for so many years, these crusty old white men put in power, and there's certain gates they can't get over. I mean, what do we have to have an insurrection?
I guess so. An all-female insurrection. It's ladies' night at the Capitol, everybody. Come on in and break a window. But seriously, I mean, women, there are more of you in the planet. You could just take over. I've never understood why some women are sexist against other women. We heard it in 2016. I heard multiple women say, I'm not voting for Hillary Clinton. I don't want some woman running this country. Like,
dude, I found out, I went to a lawyer party on Saturday.
Yes, why you say ooh like that, but
it was very swanky, dude. There were hors d'oeuvres.
Show us your briefs. Come on.
Yeah.
So I went to this lawyer party, and we were just talking about people. I knew everybody there, and we're talking about like people we know in the law community. I found out this girl that I've known for a long time, and she sort of disappeared, and I thought she was getting into nefarious actions. I thought she was doing drugs or something. I found out that she is a Trump for women for Trump.
And
I thought, I knew something was going wrong with this lady, and I called it out, but I had no idea it was Trump. Why are women supporting Trump? It's just like people of marginalized communities saying, yeah, we're all for Trump. Like, really? Why? What has he done for you lately, dude?
It's such a great trick Republicans have done, getting people to vote against their own self-interests. And I'll tell you, I was driving home for the to get to here for the podcast today, and I was in front of somebody that had a bunch of pro-Trump bumper stickers on the back of their car, and I'm just annoying myself. But one of them then said, elect a clown, get a circus. And I'm like, is that irony? Do you not? Is that a Biden slam? You don't think Trump is the biggest fucking circus freak in the history of presidents?
Yeah.
Like, no self-awareness whatsoever to put that bumper sticker.
You know, that's also a Trump bumper sticker, an anti-Trump bumper sticker.
I think that's
on your car.
That's all I've ever seen it as, and I don't think this guy understood that was an anti-Trump bumper sticker he put next to all of his pro-Trump.
Which makes it even more funny when they have no clue whatsoever, and they think that it can just be applied to certain other people as well. But no, we're talking about your guy.
Right. No self-awareness.
It's going to be interesting, gentlemen. I know neither one of you, I don't know why, but you don't really, you're not huge watchers of The Daily Show. But, Trevor Noah left, and I was a big Trevor Noah fan.
Yeah. Did they replace him yet?
Well, they just announced, they've been announcing for the past week or so they're going to have a bunch of people come in and do guest spots on it. Mm-hmm. And then I think they'll probably pick one, the American Idol of The Daily Show. But the first one is Leslie Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not sure, dude. I like Leslie Jones. I just don't know if I see her in
as
that
a host.
Chair as a host, right?
Exactly.
And,
she'd be a great one of the sidekick commentator types. She's 100%. a little too verbose to be the host, I would think.
And she may prove us wrong. I mean, I'm going to watch and just see what it's all about. Because like I said, I do like her. But, I just don't know if I see her in that chair or not. So.
Not that chair. That's what my reaction was for, is because that particular job for her, that's just kind of not what I would see her excelling in.
I would think, though, going from SNL and movie star, you probably can't be a sidekick on The Daily Show. You got to host that thing or not, in her position. But
I suppose. But, one of the things about Trevor Noah is that he was able to play many roles. He was able to be a man who was, just straight talking. He was able to be pissed off. He was able to show empathy really, really well and come down and kind of have a sensitive talk. And I just don't see her being able to do that. And maybe she'll prove me wrong. I don't know. But
yeah, I don't predict that one being a permanent job for her, but I guess time will tell.
Yep.
I have one last story here, just on the topic we've been talking about of politicians doing stupid things that, sticking it to the libs. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure it was Wyoming passed a law this week outlawing electric vehicles by the year 2035. Phasing out the sales, and they even said we're doing it to basically stick it to California.
Yeah,
that's how we make progress in America, dude.
I mean, seriously, you are the person that when the car was invented, you're saying we should all be riding horses still. Like, I mean, could you be any more backwards, antiquated, out of touch with progress and the advancement of society? We've been burning dinosaurs for a long time, so.
I don't know where you stand on this, dude, but at this point in my life anyway, I'm not for outlawing cars, gasoline cars. I'm not. I would like to see it at least equal down the middle and see how things are going with it all.
Right.
And then see where to go. I don't believe in this. Like by 2023, none of these gas-powered vehicles will be legal anymore. I'm not with that.
I don't know that they're going to be illegal, but selling new ones might be illegal or phased out. And that's kind of progress, right? I mean, isn't that what we're going for here?
I suppose. I just think I don't know. I'm all for electric vehicles, dude. I just don't know that we have had enough testing done on it to make sense.
Testing?
I heard it coming. Yes,
you heard it coming. And I will tell you what, like, I mean, there's just a lot of questions, right? I mean, if we are our grids ready for all of this charging? I mean, we have things to work out.
Absolutely.
And I think we need just to do it slowly.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I saw this all over the comment sections on some of the articles that were posted about this, that first of all, there's so much California hatred in this country, but the rest of you don't seem to realize that if California split off, America would just dwindle and die. We are the 5th largest economy in the world, certainly the largest economy in America.
Yes.
So we're and by the way, when somebody comments on Facebook about fuck you, California, you're on Facebook. It's a California company. It's a California property run by Californians. And you're sitting there, oh, fuck you, California. But you're on Facebook. You're watching our movies. You're buying our products. Like,
if you're going to protest, do it properly.
Right. But yeah, someplace like Wyoming, they're like 5,000th in the world. So you kind of need us here in California.
And maybe that's why they can get away with doing this, right?
Yeah, because it's not going to matter. No one's going to care. And, you know, it's kind of like with this has gone on with school books, where Texas will come out and say, we're not going to let these, you know, school books have these certain chapters. But then California comes out and says, we're going to almost require those chapters. So what happens is the free market. If you're a textbook company, you cannot not sell in California. There's millions of students. You have to be able to sell here. But you're not going to make one set of textbooks for California and another set for the rest of the country. So California, we get to basically bully the rest of you. Whatever our rules are, the economy has to follow it. There's no choice. So if we put in these electric vehicle mandates, the rest of you are going to have to follow suit because they're not going to make electric vehicles in one state and gas vehicles in all the others. It just makes no sense. So whether you hate us or not, we get to push you. So,
You like that, don't you?
I do. I stand up for California. It's there's too many taxes are too high. It's a little overregulated, but we're the home of many, many good things, not only economy wise, but you know, the beauty of the beaches and the mountains and all that kind of stuff. There's a reason millions of people live here. It is a great state. So
California girls, dude, let's not forget about them.
California dreaming, you know, I mean, So here's the thing, you know, Newsom said by 2035, we're going to phase out electric vehicle sales. That can be pushed if it's not there, but electric vehicle technology is advancing rapidly. And in another 13 years, it's going to be light years beyond where it is now. And, you know, we're not going to have the worry of how far the nearest charging station is and all that kind of stuff. And I get you fucking conservatives. It's not 100% green. I get it. It's a step in the right direction. That's what we're supposed to be doing, right? Progress.
But the other thing, too, though, is that technology with the batteries is going to come a long way, too. And by that, I don't mean just how much of a charge, but also how they're making the batteries, what kind of minerals they need to put in them, and that sort of, and also safe recycling of those batteries. You know that part of it will go along with increased technology on drivability and charging distance and that sort of thing.
It's like your defibrillator. Like the technology will advance over the years. I promise you.
Oh yeah, I mean it went from 4 years, every 4 years having to get replaced to now every 10 years.
Right. And if someone in California is not putting their thumb on the scale, these companies may not do it quite as rapidly. That's their whole thing. They're trying to push, you know?
Sure.
You think we'll ever get away from lithium?
I have no idea. I mean, I would imagine, the short answer is yes. In the next 10 years, I don't know. But over the 20, 30, 40, you know, as society advances, yeah, for sure.
There are too many smart people, especially engineers, that are going to find other ways to actually
yes, and there's money to be made. That's the motivator, right?
Well, the story you told a couple of weeks ago with this power source that they found, right, Steve, in space. Remember we were talking about it?
Yeah, self-sustaining energy source. They figured it out. I mean, it's not mainstream yet, but they figured out how to make a self-generating energy source. Can you imagine if that becomes mainstream? Like Back to the Future style, your car just powers itself.
I always wonder, like, you know what, if they let that out, and it starts being, we're able to use it, it's going to crush the economy of so many different things, though, right?
Well, on one level, but then it's going to create new economies and new opportunities. So, yeah, if you own a gas station, I guess you're going to be screwed in 10, 20 years, but you can switch it over to a, electric-powered vehicle station. Follow the trends. It's just like saying we shouldn't use solar because those poor coal miners are going out of business. Sorry, it's advancement. Get a better job. Get out of the fucking hole and go work at the wind farm.
It's better for you, dude. Your lungs will be cleaner.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard they cause cancer. People tell me windmills cause cancer. I hear this. It's not true. You'll be fine. Your black lung is certainly much.
That was a bit of a Trump and Dice Clay morphed into.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
Hey,
I'm working on my Trump still, so Once he was out of office, I gave up working. So
Yeah.
So there's good examples, America, of your politicians working hard for you, shooting your state in the foot to try to stick it to the libs.
Well, and I'll give you one other political thing here.
Sure.
So there is a gentleman by the name of Rick Allen. He's a Republican from Georgia, and he was asked about Social Security and how the Republicans are going after Social Security.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that they're going after it because, quote, people want to work longer, end quote. So, and that's why he wants to talk about raising the age for people to get Social Security, because he says that people tell him they want to work longer. They want to, and I know nobody who wants to work longer. Now,
surveying, please.
Now, I will tell you that when my dad was forced to stop working, I was talking to my sister about this. It was kind of like Brooks Hadlin in the Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
Remember when he got paroled and he held the knife to that one guy's neck because he didn't want to, because that's all he knew.
Yes.
When my dad was told he wasn't allowed to work anymore, it was kind of a shock to his system because he had worked with so many of these guys for 30 years.
Become his life. I mean, in a sense,
Exactly. So that on one sense, I can see people missing the people at work and that sort of thing. But most people don't want to work until work 60, 70 years and enjoy 2 years of retirement and then die. I don't think most people want to do that.
The goal is to be able to do something that you enjoy, and you can do it on a smaller level. Like, I don't know that I ever really want to be done with radio or broadcasting as a whole, but I want it on my terms, and I don't have that now. So
that's crazy.
Asshole for a boss. He's pushing me constantly.
I hear you. I'm not a fan of him either. So
that asshole cracking the whip on you at all times.
Exactly.
TPS reports and all that.
Yes. I'm tough like that for sure. I do have a relaxed dress code though, so at least we're not joking about this podcast. There's no one in charge here, clearly. Yes. But in the real world, so. It's another great example, though, of I don't understand why people vote for Republicans when they do so many things that go against their own constituents. It's the old, I'll put up with Trump because I got conservative judges. Like, why do you put up with so much shit just to get your one thing you want?
Makes zero sense.
Stick it to the libs. So.
I'm really pushing for Hakeem the Dream, dude. I'm liking him more and more. The more I hear him talk.
Hakeem Jeffries.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just like, I'm on board with this guy. He's reminiscent of the way Obama made me feel inside, so.
There's something to be said for the it factor, for somebody that's charismatic and that can speak eloquently, unlike Trump or Bush or whatever. And so I get it, I mean. I don't know.
I think for me with him, I like that you get the attorney part of him, which is cool, but then you get the Brooklyn part of him that comes out.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do it in a vulgar way or anything like that. Like you get that Brooklyn fighter, the Brooklyn
the
feeling.
Spirit.
Yeah, the spirit. But he says it in a better way, or sometimes he might break out a little bit of, like kind of regular guy from Brooklyn sort of thing. I like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The momentum is on our side. We just need a few more years to go by and a few more old fuckers to die, and then we can just take over entirely. So
the Republican Party has now got a huge thing together where they want to defund the FBI.
Yeah.
Did you hear about it?
Good luck with that.
And I just think to myself, what is wrong with you?
Well, we should talk real quick, though, about this whole Biden top secret document fucktard debacle that's going on.
I'm so depressed that it happened because it only gives conservatives just a moment to try and equate that it's the same thing, and it's not.
It is not. No, but it certainly does not make Biden look good. Like you had shit shoved in some drawer. Like, don't we have protocols for this stuff? How are you It blows my mind. And yeah, it's not the same thing. Trump intentionally did it. He was asked for them back and refused to give them back, whereas Biden accidentally did it and said, take them, I don't want them. Like, so it is different, but it certainly muddies the water.
For sure. Yeah.
However, I've always said, like, call us out. Call the libs out, the Dems out. So, okay, fine. We appointed a special prosecutor for Biden. If that prosecutor thinks Biden should be prosecuted for this, go right fucking ahead. But you better fucking do it on Trump, too.
I agree. Yes, I agree, dude. If someone's, I don't care who's doing something wrong, if they broke the law, then
that's what makes us sincere, though, that we're willing to throw our own people out there. Like, all right, he did fuck up, so let him be investigated, and I'll accept the results of that, just like with Trump.
Yes.
Brewski, thoughts?
No, I'm with you guys all the way, 100%. Yeah, I mean, you got to be consistent. Consistency. But yes, it is embarrassing. At the same time, you know, as soon as they found the documents, like the same day, they called the archives, they called the people that they needed to call and say, hey, listen, we found these documents, and they turned them over immediately.
Yes.
It's not the same thing. I mean, it's in the same spectrum, I guess, but it's clearly not. How does somebody not know these things are missing? I mean, with Trump, they knew, and that's why they asked for them back. Were these cop out? Like, how do you just have documents shoved in a drawer somewhere?
Maybe there are levels of those types of documents.
There is.
And I know there are some that are like sensitive compartmental information, and that you can only be read in a skiff and that sort of thing. And so I think Trump took like the really big ones, like when he was stealing the good stuff, as opposed to like the lower level classified documents. He was like, if I'm doing it, I'm taking the good stuff.
I just know in elementary school, if I took a book home, they made me sign it out. Like, we don't have a system like that for classified documents.
Yeah, you would think so.
I think what I heard about with Trump was that some of the people felt awkward saying, we need that document back, sir. Like, he would like hold on to it. And
it's mine.
But they didn't feel comfortable because they're in the Oval Office, and they're like, you know, we need to take possession of that. And they didn't feel comfortable doing that. You have to, that's your job. You need to say to them, listen, I don't care if you are the president, that document has to come back with me now.
Yeah. This is what happens when a child is running the country.
If you want to look at it later on, you can come back to us and say, you know what, I want to relook at that. And then we'll bring it to you. You can look at it, read it, and then give it back to us.
Yeah.
I know that, you know, Rachel, my wife, had security clearance on a bunch of different stuff when she was in the military.
Yeah.
And she's told me, like, oh, there were some things that were like, you would look at it and be like, why the hell is that classified?
Sure.
You know what I mean? And then there were big things. But what's the rumor? I mean, I heard for the longest time that all of the documents, or a majority of them that Trump had, were in relation to codes and shit for nuclear weapons. I mean, there
was a lot of sensitive stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And have we heard at all what the stuff Biden has?
I mean, I heard some of it was more classified, but like Brewski said, there's 100, or like, I'm sorry, you were just saying there's 100 shades of classified.
Right. But we don't know what it was pertaining to. I mean, it wasn't atomic nuclear weapons, right?
No, I mean, not that we've heard, but I just hate the slow trickle. Like that first day it came out, like, oh, there's some in some office. I'm like, all right, that happens. Oh, now there's some in his garage. Oh, now there's some in his other office. Like,
why is it in your garage, dude? Were you cleaning your car out and just like forgot about him? Like, that's crazy.
Still, not as bad as having it in the basement of your club where the maids have access and the staff.
And not being willing to give them back when asked for them. I mean, it's a huge deal, right?
And I love seeing the Republicans right now being, oh, look at what Biden did. Like, don't you fucking say that unless you're going to turn right around and point it at Trump, too. And they don't, obviously.
No.
I declassified those.
Yeah,
and it's funny because they said that vice presidents can't declassify things because these documents came from when Joe Biden was the vice president.
Yeah.
Right.
But there was actually a law that President Obama signed into law that allowed the vice president to declassify things as well. So when they were like, well, Biden couldn't have declassified those documents. Well, yes, he could have.
Interesting. Not that I'm into this retroactive declassifying to cover your ass, but that's good to know. So.
No, I mean, at the time when so if you're vice president and the document gets to you you can say, I'd like to declassify that. And obviously there are protocol you have to go through and that sort of thing. But you as the vice president, you have that right to be able to do that.
Okay. Well, I'll be curious to see how this story turns out for sure. I just need Trump prosecuted for something. And if you need to throw him under the bus too, then feel free. But
well, he's been going after Jack Smith like crazy on his Truth Social. Like, I mean, it's like he knows that shit's coming down because every day there's like 10, 12, 13, all these, and they just going crazy, and Jack Smith is just sitting there like keeping quiet, like, yep,
doing his job. Now it's funny to watch the walls close in around Trump. I just hope they actually close in at some point because I've been waiting for that for years and years.
Yeah.
Like the snow stacking up around here. At some point it's going to fall over and just suffocate you. So I'm waiting for that with Trump.
Enough said.
Exactly. Thank you, Stanley. Hey, speaking of one last snow comment that I think was appropriate for this show in a dark, twisted sort of way. I had posted on my own personal Facebook page about all of this snow going on. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but a friend of mine commented, don't go out there and renter it up.
Oh, that's funny. A Seattle friend?
No, he was actually from this area. He's in Ohio now, but
how does he know about renter?
Well,
everybody knows about that.
I mean, yeah, I've had a lot of people reaching out about it, and they talk about it being in Tahoe and whatnot. And yeah, if you don't get the joke, Jeremy Renner was just, got crushed doing snow removal at his house here in Lake Tahoe. And so, yeah. And this friend, by the way, we're both comic book nerds. He's more of a DC fan. So I think this was his, Marvel hatred coming out. Oh. Don't go Renner it up. It was both too soon and terrible, and I had to laugh because I have that sort of sense of humor.
Yes, you are.
And by the way, this has not been confirmed yet, but I read an article the other day, and it said, this is not confirmed, but according to an anonymous friend of Jeremy Renner, they think he's going to have his leg amputated.
No.
I mean, they say his leg was crushed by this.
I thought it was torn off. I thought he already didn't have a leg.
No, it was just demolished. It's still on his body as far as I know, but they're saying, friends of his are saying that he's probably not going to end up keeping that leg, which is yeesh.
And that, you know what? My wife and I talked about this last night. Okay. I signed up for Paramount Plus because I wanted to finish watching the Sylvester Stallone, Tulsa King.
Yeah.
When I got the subscription going, I realized here's Mayor of Kingstown, this new show I started watching with Jeremy Renner.
Yeah.
And I only watched the first episode and I really liked it. But now that I have Paramount Plus, I'm going to watch the whole thing. But I said to Rachel last night, I guess we know there won't be a season 2. And she was like, maybe they'll write it into the story.
Are they going to do? Yeah, are they going to do that on that show and in the Marvel universe? Like, just all of his characters now just have one leg? Like, oh.
And maybe it'll be someone new because it will be tough for him to have a leg up on the competition.
Well, though,
I appreciate you continuing our terrible streak of going to hell for jokes.
If you guys know anything about, do you know who Alex Smith is? He used to be a quarterback with the Washington Commanders.
Yes. I mean, reputation. I'm not a fan of or expert.
So no, he almost lost his leg because his leg got broken and snapped on the field, and he had to go through so many surgeries, and he still kind of walks with a limp, but they were able to save his leg. And so I say that because maybe, Renner might have to go that same route where I forget how many surgeries Alex Smith has had, but it's so many. And when you see pictures of his leg and you see what it looks like now, it looks like hell, but at least he still has it.
Yeah. Well, come on, doctors, get on it. Hop to it before Jeremy Renner has to hop everywhere.
Oh, God.
I'll give you one.
By the way,
I love you, Renner. Seriously, I do. But come on, we got to have some fun, right?
But when you said that you had one more snow thing to say, one more snow story,
yeah,
I thought you were going to say, I lick your boom boom down.
I don't get that.
You don't know the Informer,
Informer, yeah. But what is that?
Because Snow. That's the artist that does the song.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And tremendous play by Brewski.
Yeah. 12 Inches of Snow was the name of the album.
That's hilarious. I'm disappointed in myself when I don't get musical pop culture references. So kudos.
That was deep from Brewski. I appreciate the hell out of it.
A little too obscure, but I don't know. I wanted to say "lick your boom boom down." You know,
I love
Check
it
that
when
off
you
your
say
bucket
that.
list for the show. You made it an Informer reference. So,
who doesn't like to lick a boom boom down? You know,
hey, I hear you, baby. I hear you.
sometimes you're the right lady. You know.
Speaking of licking boom boom down, I wonder what's in our future. I mean, you got any
Ooh.
boom
what?
boom? You know, I'm just wondering.
Well, I don't know. Do you want to hear about Boom Boom, or do you want to hear about colonoscopy adventures with me? Like, what part of my body do we want to explore first? So.
I mean, let's be real. I mean, someone put a camera in Steve, and he went to sleep, and he came home. He's all good now. What up with the boom boom, dude?
Yeah.
You don't even want to hear my escaping the hospital tale? I mean, that was...
Well, I guess so. Give it to me.
Okay, well, we'll make this brief, and then we'll get
in the boom boom.
Yes, exactly.
In the boom boom.
I don't know if anyone licked or not, but a couple of things before I even get to how I escaped from this. So as we talked about on the previous show, I had a colonoscopy last week, and I had no one to drive me, so I wasn't sure how I was getting home and all that. But I'm just mystified and disturbed over the fact that they drugged me and just violated the hell out of me. And I have no memory of it. I have no feeling of it. And I'll tell you,
bottom wasn't sore at all.
no. I mean, when I first got out of there, I felt like maybe somebody got to first base with me, you know, a little finger poking, but it did not hurt at all. I did not really feel violated. But first of all, when they gave me the propofol,
Propofol. Isn't it propofol?
Yeah, they gave it in my IV, and I remember thinking, like, I do this thing whenever I take like NyQuil or something. I always try to fight the effects. I want to see how long I can stay awake for. And so she's like, all right, so the propofol is going in you now. And I'm thinking like, all right, I can feel it. Let me see how long I can stay awake for. That is the last thing I remember. I mean,
you were out.
Yes. I mean, it just knocks you out. And then the next thing I knew, like, it's time warp. Like, I'm awake in my hospital bed now, back in the little room. And they literally blew hot air up my ass, I found out. Like, they stick CO2 up there. They have to expand your colon so they can see it. So I'm unconscious on this table, and I'm rolled over on my side when I passed out, and I'm naked. I mean, I got a, smock on or whatever it is.
But nothing covering your bottom.
No, I mean, so vulnerable. And first they stick a hose up there and blow hot air up there, CO2, and then they shove a camera up there. And
how did they get the CO2 in your bottom?
I assume a hose. I mean, I don't think they're, maybe they take hits and then blow it in your ass or something.
Like whippets.
Yeah, exactly. And it was so funny. I told my kids the night before I was getting this thing done, and my son Crosby's like, well, what is it? I'm like, well, they have to put a camera inside of me to look at, things. And he was like, how do they put a camera inside of you? And I'm like, well, they don't use my mouth. And Crosby's just like, stop. Don't tell me. I don't want to hear anything more.
He knew in his mind they were going to put it in your bottom.
Yes. I have a hose go up my butt with a camera on the tip. And so, yeah, that whole time warp thing is crazy. And just how violated I was. And that I mean, I guess, is this what being roofied is? Like, I woke up and I had no memory. I couldn't feel. I mean, it's crazy to me.
So you're saying the doctors played just the tip with you?
I think so. No, I think I got way more than the tip, actually. I mean, it started first base, but they got all the way by the time that procedure was done.
So they must lube up your bottom.
I don't know. Did they lube the scope? Did they KY up my ass? I mean, I actually don't know, and I don't know that I want to know. I mean, it is so weird that I was just out. It's like that Seinfeld episode where they knock him out and then, I'll have sex with him, sit there or whatever. I mean, so that part's mystifying to me for sure.
No soreness on your bottom.
No. I mean, I will. Maybe I'm just a champion that way. Like, I can take one, So.
When will it become creepy that I am calling it your bottom?
Never, or already, but I'm just used to that. So, there's a certain creepiness to this entire show. But yeah, lubed up, violated. Did they clean me up when it's done? Do they take a little wet wipe or something?
Like, sure, dude.
I don't know.
Did you have any questions for the doctor before things started?
No. It's like I don't want to really know too much information. I trust you. You go do what you got to do down there. Wake me up.
You're too trusting, dude. You've been telling me you trust all these people. Why are you so trusting? You're not skeptical of anyone.
Are you a sex offender?
You had no questions?
I mean, I guess if you're going to be a sex offender and love violating men's asses, that's a good career to go into.
For sure it is, dude.
I'm the son of a doctor. I trust the medical procedures and whatnot.
Okay.
So I'm not here to drive the car. I'm just a passenger. So, yeah, I'm just going to lay here and take my little pill or my sleeping medicine.
I won't remember anyway, right?
Yeah, and that really is weird, you know.
They're lightly caressing your cheek while they're putting the hose in there.
In your bottom.
They're whispering in your ear saying, "Shh, just relax, just let it happen."
Yes,
just let it happen.
Listen, dude, I told you that I took that medication before where I didn't have any recollection. It's a creepy feeling, dude. And I mean, unless I absolutely had to, I wouldn't do it again because it really creeped me out. Not because I thought something happened, but just to lose, I don't know, 6 hours of your day or whatever. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
And I know something happened, and it's still, you know, it's disturbing.
And it was with your bottom, dude.
It was with my bottom. Fat bottom girls, baby. So, yeah. And by the way, when the doctor's like, "Do you have questions?" I'm like, do you need tips? Like, I don't know. I'm trusting you to take the wheel here. Let me know at the end how it goes. So,
but everything came out okay, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, I mean, they did a biopsy, and that's still a week or two away. But they told me that you look good. There was no polyps of any kind. There was no what do they call it? Crohn's and some other crap in yourself disease thing. They can see
Crohn's and colitis.
Yeah. Thank you, Brewski. Nice job. So I'm free of all that. So that is not what was causing the issue. So I don't know if we're going to get an answer out of this because I went into it from this gastrointestinal issue I've been having, but it's also, we're at the age of life, gentlemen, where we're supposed to be having this done. So I know I'm cancer free. I don't have to have this done again for another 10 years. So that's awesome. So 56 until I have to be, violated the next time. Can't wait to see where life's at that point. Who's driving me home? Okay. But yeah. So, short of this biopsy results coming back, everything was clean and clear. Speaking of not clean and clear though, on the biopsy, Nick unfortunately knows this story, but that night when I did get home, and I'll tell you how I pulled that off, I had my first bowel movement.
Oh, boy.
Nothing but blood. I mean, it was just blood.
It was enough blood to make a vampire horny, dude. It was a shot glass of blood.
Yeah, and that's probably a conservative estimate. It was a lot of blood where I freaked out. It was like, oh my, because they tell you there's a 1 in 10 zillion chance we could perforate your colon, and if that happens, you'll bleed. You need emergency surgery, and so
yeah,
I had my first movement. I looked down. I'm like, oh my god, like the entire bowl is just red. And that freaked me out. But apparently it was from the biopsy, because when they do the cut for the biopsy, you bleed. And so that's front of the line now because your colon's empty. So as the stool forms behind it, it pushes all the blood all the way through.
Wow.
Woo. I immediately called my dad, who's a doctor. I was just like, is this bad? I'm shitting blood. And he was like, it could be bad, but let's slow down. Probably from the biopsy. He's like, if you get an intense abdominal pain tonight, go immediately to the emergency room. Otherwise, your next movement or two, it should thin out. And honestly, the next one, it was gone. So, it was fine. But yeah, the big problem I had was there was no one to drive me home. And as we discussed on last week's show, there was a big, question, could I drive myself home? And how would I get out of the hospital? Because they have rules and procedures. And it was depressing as shit, by the way, to be showing up for something like this and be alone. There's a chair in this little room for your person to be sitting there. My chair was empty.
Did you feel depressed?
I did. I don't like being in a hospital room, getting ready to be knocked out and have nobody there for me. How sad.
You know what I thought about this? I did.
Yes, I know you did. So, yes.
I did think about this. All right. Now, listen. I just wonder, because I go to the doctor for procedures all the time by myself.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it is sad for you, because I suppose I have the option.
Yes.
Is that, you think, what it is? I mean, would you feel just as sad if no one was there, but you had the option?
Nick, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
I'm trying to really get into your heart.
Yes, it's the fact that there was not an option. Like there is no person of mine to come with me. That's sad. So yeah, it's the lack of choice that had me walking down the side of the road hitchhiking alone after my colonoscopy.
Wearing ripped purple pants.
Exactly. And if you don't get all these references, we can't be friends. So anyway, so yeah.
So did you hitch a ride home?
So here's how it went down. I show up at the hospital and immediately they're like, "Where's your ride home?" And I said, "Oh, I called ahead. I told you guys I got a hotel down the street. I took an Uber here," which I didn't. My car was parked outside. And I said, when the procedure's over, I'm going to call Uber. They're going to pick me up. They're like, "Oh, perfect. Why don't you give us the Uber number and we'll call Uber for you?" And I was like, "Oh, it doesn't work that way." Like, I don't know
do
what
it on an app.
Yeah, I was like, "It's on an app on my phone, so I'll do it when we're done." So you guys tell me, like, we need to be all done, and I need to be ready to walk out of here before I order this Uber, which I don't even have Uber on my phone. Like, I don't. This is all bullshit. So we get through the whole procedure, and at the end of it, the woman's like, "All right, you're about 10 minutes away from being able to walk out of here, so why don't you order your Uber?" I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I told Nick this. I sent myself a fake text. I don't even know how Uber works because I've never done it, but I just sent myself a text saying, "Your Uber will arrive in 10 minutes.
That is so funny, dude. Did you show it to the person?
I never needed to, but I was ready to. Like, I had it ready to go.
Look, it's right here.
Exactly. So I did what I felt was just a brilliant maneuver. So the woman, I wake up from this whole thing, and she, am I missing something? What are you laughing?
No, that's why I'm laughing.
Okay.
Okay.
So anyway, so the woman, she comes over to my bed, and I'm dressed at this point, and she brings out over the the discharge papers for me to sign. Right. So first I'm like, "Let me sign those, like give them to me now," because I'm like, once I've signed this, you don't have any rights over me. So I immediately sign it. And I tell the woman, like, Uber's, they're coming. Like, I got my text. They're going to be here in 10 minutes. But I was like, "Hey, by the way, like, I really need to pee. Can I use the bathroom real quick before I go?"
I gotta go pee.
Right. And she's like, "Yeah, but then I need to walk you out of the hospital. I have to walk you to your Uber." And this is where I start thinking, like, I'm just going to run, lady. Like, you can walk me to the curb while you walk.
I'm making a break for it.
I'm going to keep on walking. So she walks me around the corner to this little side hallway where the bathroom is. And she's like, "There's the bathroom." And then she turns and leaves. And I look around and I'm like, "There's nobody here." So I just fucking walked right out of the hospital.
Make a break for it, baby.
I bolted. And
that is so funny, dude, that you're looking around corners and just, Mission Impossible theme.
Exactly. I felt like a spy breaking into the office to take pictures on the microfiche or something. Like,
did you have adrenaline or were you fine?
Well, I tell you, I wasn't sure if that was going to work, if that was going to be my opportunity or not. I actually did have to be. But as soon as the opportunity presented itself, I'm like, no one's around. Like, what are you going to do to me? So, yeah, I just walked on out of there. And I figure if they call me, I'm just going to say, like, "Oh, I peed. I came out. You weren't there. My Uber was here. So I left."
Be so funny, dude. If
I
you
just
would have
walked
got caught.
straight on out of there. And by the way, I was totally fine. I was wide awake. I was not inebriated in any way, shape, or form. I was
champion.
Like, challenge accepted. I'll drive after being knocked out. And yeah, so.
Well, good, dude. I'm glad everything went well.
Yes,
absolutely. It did. It was
So I can't wait to hear about the biopsy, though. I want to hear about the meat and the potatoes of your adventure.
I think I flushed all those out. And by the way, this whole flushing of the system, you got to remember, I started this whole problem because I had uncontrollable diarrhea. And then to solve it, they give me uncontrollable diarrhea. So my original experience was 20 times worse than what the medication did to me. So I actually didn't find it to be too bad per se.
Perfect. Well, how are we doing, dude? Because I don't know if you continued with this experiment or not, but you were going to stop taking your medicine to make your stool harder and see if your body had reset. Have you done that?
I have. So, for the 24 hours before this procedure, you're not allowed to take any medication at all of any kind. So I figured, why not just continue? Like, I've made it through. I've flushed the entire system clean. So I have not gone back to taking that medicine. I'm having a little trouble telling because there was one day this week where I did have diarrhea, but the days before and the days since I haven't. There's been a few days where I have 2 movements a day, which is unusual for me. It's usually only 1. But it wasn't diarrhea. It wasn't uncontrollable. I could feel it coming on. Did
you eat any peanuts?
No. So that's the other thing. Like this is probably going to end up being some sort of food allergy or something. And I was telling Nick that, a few weeks back, there was one day where I had a peanut butter sandwich and I had a whole bunch of peanuts and I got really sick. And I started wondering, have I developed a peanut intolerance? Because on this new micro fasting thing I'm doing nowadays, peanuts have become a favorite of mine. I just snack on those all day. And I'll tell you.
Get your roasted peanuts here.
Oh, don't tempt me. What are you doing? Wave that in my face, Brewski. So yeah, I haven't had peanuts since then, and I haven't experimented to see if maybe that is the cause of all of this stuff or not. But I don't know. I'm feeling a little unstable internally, but nowhere near how this whole thing started. So because they also said this is going to mess with your bowel movements for the next week or two because you've really tampered with your internal plumbing. So we'll see. I got to wait for this biopsy. I'll go back to my doctor. We'll keep trying to vet all this out, but.
Show is so much more depressing than it was 20 years ago, dude. I mean, we have really become old and just have so many ailments and shit.
Yeah. I'd like to think we're more relatable now. We were invincible in our 20s, and now we have ailments. So there is that. So we'll see what happens. But that was a fun little thing. But I'm proud of myself for busting out of the hospital, and driving myself home. Just goddamn fun.
Oh, you are a champion.
Thank you very much, sir. So yes. So yeah, that's the bottom of that story.
Your bottom's okay now, dude.
Yes.
You got a nice bottom.
So I don't know. I think that's all I have to share. Let's wrap the show up.
Hey, dude, I got more. I got more to share.
Oh, good. Yes.
Yeah. I got a little game we're gonna play here. But are you done sharing? You've changed your mind in certain things, like we're not talking about anything.
No, we can.
We don't have to if you changed your mind.
No, I haven't. But Brewski is completely unaware of all of this stuff. So I'm choosing to paint myself into a corner today.
Oh boy.
Sometimes you need a little shove to go off the ledge. So
sure.
Here's the deal. I had my second date with Radio Fan last week, and things went really well. Sparks and magical things were shooting out of every part of my body.
Out of sight.
Yeah. So we went out and we did axe throwing, because why waste a good idea on one date? And
that's harsh.
Right.
Yeah.
Not wait, but you know what I mean. Like, so we went out, and the date itself was really good. We had a really fun time. We threw axes, and this place down off the hill there has food and alcohol at this axe place, unlike the one from my other second date story. And we had a really great night. And then I don't know, you know me.
You had a great night, dude. What are you talking about? I mean,
I'm focusing just on this part of the night. We had a very good second date. We had a lot of fun throwing axes. We talked a lot about music and life and all that kind of stuff, and
lots in common, sparks.
Lots of stuff in common. I wouldn't say sparks were flying necessarily at that moment. Like, I was certainly feeling a strong connection and thinking, like, I really like this woman.
We're talking about second date now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And first date was a little formal. I mean, like a lot of first dates are. You're just interviewing each other and feeling each other out. So
first date seemed to be a big ball of confusion.
I did leave a little confused because
the van, Brewski.
What?
Brewski
in the van.
Oh,
what are we talking about? You just threw me off.
I did.
Yeah.
Ball of Confusion. Who sings it, Brewski?
I know Land of Confusion by Genesis, but that's all I.
I was going to say, I don't know Ball of Confusion. Who sings that?
Look it up, dude. Look it up.
Okay. Go ahead.
Explain your
I'll look it up.
Steve left the date with a big ball of confusion, as far as I can tell.
Yes, the first date, I could not get a good read off of Radio Fan. And I now know it was first date. She was being guarded and protected, and she assumed it would be a waste of time and just another douchebag she's going on a first date with. And so then after the first date, we talked. I was like, I'm kind of interested in you, but I couldn't get a vibe off of you. And then she was like, oh, like I was interested in you too. And so then the walls kind of came down a bit with Radio Fan, and we had some good texting back and forth. She started sending me a bunch of music stuff off Spotify, and gentlemen, I got to tell you, this woman has just grade A taste in music, including Brewski. You will appreciate this. She was sending me like stuff you don't like the adult rock and roll acoustic, guitar guy stuff. But then she'll send me like Danzig, Mother.
Sure.
like wow, like you've got some diversity in this.
So we're wide spectrum.
Yeah, absolutely. It's modern stuff. I mean, she was sending me Mott the Hoople. I was like, damn, girl, like you're into Mott the Hoople, huh? Like, it was a good playlist of stuff. So yeah, so by the time the second day rolled around, defenses were down. Like it was a better, back and forth and, rapport and whatnot. But this is the part that, I try not to overly romanticize things, but in the moment, and I even told Nick this because he was part of it, like, damn, this feels like a movie or something happening right now. Because I walked her to her car at the end of the date, and, I'm a gentleman, so I'm like, is it okay if I walk you to the car? Which is basically code for, do you want me to leave you alone? or can I follow you, to the dark alley or whatever? And so, I walk her to her car, and she's like, oh, this is me. And I lean in. And she leans in. And I'm like, we're adults. We should be going for a first kiss at this point, right? If we're actually serious about this stuff.
If you're both leaning in, I would think so.
Right. But then, like in an awkward movie, like she leaned in, but then she kind of turned a little. And I start leaning in thinking like, oh shit, she doesn't want me to kiss her. She doesn't want me to kiss her. And so we hugged. And it was just this, like, I felt very awkward, fumbling hug.
Was it the ass out hug, where like you don't want to get too close, but
a little bit. Yeah. I mean, not the total grandma buffer hug, but it was not some intimate, squeeze you tight sort of hug. It was more of a, thanks, buddy. Have a good, thanks for the.
Could you feel boobies on your chest?
No, it wasn't that close.
It's a bummer.
Yes, it was a bummer. And so then we hug. I'm like, well, okay, have a good night. Because now how do you go in for the kiss after you've just hugged? I immediately felt super awkward and uncomfortable. And I turned and I walked away. And literally, I got around the corner and I said to myself, you fucking idiot. Like, what did you just do? Like, kiss the woman. How old are you? Like, I felt completely defeated. We just had this nice night. I traveled down to where she's at. Couldn't even seal the deal.
Did you think that was it? Like, oh, she'll probably never want to see me again. I mean,
I certainly wondered. Yeah, like she's gonna think I'm such a dork now that I couldn't even go in for the first kiss. So I get in my car and start driving home, and I called Nick. And as I'm first starting to talk to Nick, I'm just like, ugh, dude, like I fucked this up. Like I don't even know what just happened. And then I get a text from her. And she says, like, hey, do you want to hang out some more tonight?
Which basically, like, I mean, that translates to
I love a sausage.
I mean, I think it does, right?
I don't know. It's certainly taken things up a notch, too. Like, you want to have a nightcap? It's that old thing, right?
Yes.
And I was so impressed that this woman, not only felt the same thing I did, like that was a missed opportunity. Can we take two on that? But that she would take the initiative to reach out to me and say, hey, hello, I'm not done with you if you don't want to be done with me.
She felt like the moment sucked and wanted to redo, rather have it tonight than, wait and stew on this,
Exactly. And I was blown away by that. And that story to me was kind of the movie moment of this awkward fumbling, you blew the opportunity and you were all defeated. And then, the woman did what I should have done. She stepped up. And also, though, I was in her town. I didn't have a way to say, do you want to come back to my house? Or I know a bar down the street. Like, I don't So yeah, and I'm talking on the phone to Nick where I'm just like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, she says she wants to hang out more. And I texted her back and was like, yes, I do. Like, how do I find you? And she texted me back her home address. Like, ooh, that's an escalation. And Nick, what was my vibe as I was talking to you?
You were a mess, dude. I mean, you were a mess. You couldn't even string a sentence together, which is odd for you, right? You're usually pretty articulate. And yeah, I mean, you went from just driving and like, what the hell did I just do, to like, I gotta find this. I mean, this is what he sounded like. I mean, she wants me to come over, and then he would laugh a little bit, and yeah, he was like, okay, I gotta go, dude. I gotta find this place.
Yes. So yeah, I went over to her house and walked in, and the first thing I said was, I wanted to kiss you, right? And she was like, yeah, like, are you shy? Like, I was like, a little shy. But then we both leaned in. We got the first kiss done and over.
How long did it last?
I stuck with first kiss protocols. It was short.
Oh, it was no tongue.
No.
Not first kiss. No.
I just
dude. She invited you to her house. Are you kidding me? You can't. Slip
I get it. You got to work that. You got to work that up. You got to work up to that.
I agree with Brewski. You can't assume that because a woman trusts you enough to invite you to her home that she just wants you to throw her to the ground. I mean, and
I'm not saying throw her to the ground, but put a little tongue in her mouth and see.
No tonsil hockey that early.
Not on the first kiss. Give me an hour, fast forward, and then yes. But so we got the first kiss out of the way, and then all the tension was immediately gone. And she was like, do you want a beer? Like, let's sit and talk. And so I sat on the couch. She put a movie on. If you held a gun to my head, I couldn't tell you what the movie was. I never looked at the screen once. I was entirely focused on her. And it was really good. We sat, we kept talking, things got a little deeper, and talking more about life and the universe and parenting and divorce life and all that kind of stuff. And it was funny. She kind of started drilling down on me at one point. She was like, have you ever cheated on someone? Have you ever what was her other question? Cheating and something else. I don't know. But she was starting to get like,
Have you ever hit a woman?
That was it, yes. Have you ever hit a woman? Have you ever cheated on someone? And I was like proud to say no to both of those things. And
I found it odd you didn't ask the same question.
Yeah, I know
you ever cheated on someone?
I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I'm a trusting person or something. But
we know that.
Yeah, to a flaw. So I guess I probably should have asked that at the time, but no, I didn't. I don't know. So I was drilling down more on like, do you believe in the fate of the universe, and do you? You're not a Trump fan, right? Like that kind of shit. But, so then, after she asked a few questions, I looked at her. I was like, so what else do you wonder? And she paused, and then she just hopped on my lap.
Oh.
And then the tongue, went down.
Now there you go. That's the appropriate time right there.
Exactly. So I will say we did not go all the way, but we had plenty of fun, feeling each other out, literally and figuratively. And I left there. I left there about 1:00 in the morning. And I was on cloud nine. I just was like, wow, like this woman is really fucking exciting to me. Like I haven't felt this in a while.
I love this Brewski, dude. This Brewski is matter-of-fact Brewski. Good.
Well,
that's good. No, I love it when you get like this because you are solidifying what happens. And this is the moment I wait for to see Brewski's reaction. Good. Yep. That is fantastic. That is good. And I'm saying this in a complimentive way, Brewski, is that you're telling Steve exactly what he needs to hear.
Yes, thank you. Brewski's usually on my side with these things. Nick's the the concerned older parent in this scenario. Even though I'm a week older than Nick, he's always the older, wiser. So it took me until 3:00 in the morning to get home because it was a snowstorm that night. I got stuck in my goddamn driveway at 3:00 in the morning. I was outside until 3:45 taking my car out of the driveway. It was hilarious.
So funny, dude. I can see your neighbors laying in bed like, who the fuck is that?
Right, spinning my tires.
This time of the morning?
Right.
Yes. And honestly, if they were, I was hoping someone would come outside to help me push my car, and I'm debating, do I tell them I'm just getting home or I'm getting up early to go somewhere?
Then you would have had to leave, dude, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And you already had horny energy, so you were fine, dude. You could have lifted a car off a child, right?
Yes. I was blue balling a little bit because we did not complete any acts on my end, at least. And I wanted desperately to smoke a bowl. I needed an orgasm. So I'm out in my
Did you jerk it when you got home?
Well, when I finally got out of the fucking driveway, I had to. Like, I needed to smoke a bowl and to blow a load so I could go to sleep.
You didn't stop at McDonald's to take care of that?
Right, like Brewski does. Yeah. No, I probably should have. But, I'm out at the drunk tank time of the night. I just wanted to get home and not get pulled over and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll tell you, as soon as I got in my house, like, I'm stuck. So I ran inside. I grabbed my vape pen. I took a few hits. Then I'm like, now I'll go back outside and start digging my ass out of my own driveway at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah. Terrible, dude.
And listen, part of me felt like a champion, a rock star. Like, look at me, out all night. I met a new woman. We had a little fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
then
also
he
like,
crashed hard. I mean, in the morning,
I say, I'm too old for this shit. I can't be out till 4 o'clock in the morning.
I'm up, Reynolds. I'm up.
Yes, and I did text Nick at like
all
3:30. Like, yeah, I'm home. I just got in my house, but I'll call you when I come. Wake up in 8 hours. But so yeah, so there was all that, and then I started. I got in my head. I'm like, Jesus Christ! I haven't talked to this woman about STDs, vasectomies. We haven't talked about the fact that the vocal minority, all of this open and honesty that I do, and oh, by the way, I haven't told her that I actually am dating other people, and I just had sex with somebody like 2 weeks ago, and now here you and I are. Yeah, I started thinking like I like this woman. Like I can't fuck all this up, so I decided pull the pin on the grenade. Like, so I got her on the phone the next day and was like, "All right, I got some potential deal breakers that women in the past have had troubles with. And first of all, I smoke marijuana." And she was like, "Yeah, I do too." I was like, "Oh, hallelujah, praise Jesus, thank you for that."
You kind of felt like she might have, right? After hearing some of her musical selections, hanging out with her a little bit, she seemed kind of like a stoner.
Yeah, she definitely loves stoner music, but maybe she smoked in her 20s and now she's sober and doesn't want to be involved in that. But I've had all this shit in my dating experience, so that was my first concern. And she was like, "Yeah, no, I smoke too." I'm like, perfect, hallelujah. And then I started telling her, like, we met on a dating app, so obviously I'm dating. And I said I had been seeing someone else, and I said, sparks aren't flying, but, nice person, and we've been spending time together, and we have had sex. Like, I should just be honest with you on that. And I have had a vasectomy, and I was screened, before all that, but that's where I'm at. And again, she was like, "I get it. Like, I'm an adult. Like, we're both been dating." And she said, I've dated. She said, I haven't had sex in a few months now, but I'm very unimpressed with the men in this area, but I'm impressed with you. So, let's see where this goes. And then I told her about the vocal minority. Told her, we have discussed all of this, including you. Like, you are part of the show, whether you're aware of it or not, radio fan. You're part of the top 3. Isn't that fun? So she went loose on the show. She went to Instagram and started watching the little clips, and then she went and found I told her how to find it. She went and tracked down the full show on Spotify, and the short answer is she's a fan of the show. She thinks we're funny. She gets what we're trying to do. She can tell we're all best buds, and she spoke very highly of both of you two, by the way. And Brewski, the reason Nick brought up the jerking off at McDonald's thing, she apparently fell out of her chair laughing. She thought that was hilarious. Because that's the first episode, by the way, she listened to. Nick asking us all about our masturbation habits and where we jerk off at. And,
it's all right. A guy wonders,
Right. Well, now she doesn't have to wonder because she heard it all. But
yeah.
So yeah. But now this, of course, puts me in the conundrum of I don't really want to be having sex with 2 women at the same time. That's just not in my fiber.
Yeah.
I kind of thought maybe things would go a little slower with any of these women. So yeah, I had therapy today, discussed this all thoroughly with Misty, and I'm going with my gut. I'm not going to jump all in per se with Radio Fan. I'm not going to declare, allegiance immediately here, but I told her, I said, I'm not asking for you to do anything, but I don't really want to be fooling around with anyone else. I just want to focus on you and see where this goes. So, as I started this off saying, I painted myself in a corner. I'm going to break up with the Valley girl. And
you're not going to break up. You're just going to let her know that you don't want to see her anymore. Right?
Yeah, I don't want to get my terminology confused here. You're right. We're not in a relationship,
right?
So yes, but I'm going to stop seeing her so I can focus on something else and see where it goes. And now that I've just said this on the podcast, it's going to go live tonight at midnight. So now I have between now and midnight to actually call this woman and end things with her, because otherwise she's going to tune in tomorrow and hear it for herself. And I don't want to be a dick about this. I could text her, I could ghost her, but that's not what I'm going to do. And as my therapist told me today, like, my concern is I don't like hurting people. I know it's going to hurt her feelings. And I'm just not that guy. I don't want to. But she said, your intention is not to hurt her. If that is the result of it, that's on her end. It's not yours. So do it like a matured adult and let the chips fall where they may. And you're all adults dating. You've only been seeing her for, less than 2 months, and So it's better to just, do that now than to milk it on and then do it down the
string it along and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Right.
And most people would appreciate that.
That's certainly what I'm hoping for, guys. I do not.
Yeah.
I don't like breaking up, or I don't like whatever we're calling this. I don't like firing people. I don't like having to hurt people. But
yeah.
It's
do you want to practice on me? Do you want to practice on me?
Sure. Would you like to role play this with me?
Yeah, I can. I mean, I think it's important because let's be clear. Like, you have always spoken well about Valley Girl.
Yeah.
And you said she's one of the nicest people you've ever met.
Yes.
That's a lot to be said. So we're going to take it easy on her. We're going to be upfront and honest, but let's do a little role play. I want you to do well.
Okay, let's try this out. Hey, Valley Girl, how's the day going?
It's going great. It's better now that I can hear from you.
Yeah, well, about that.
You always make my day better.
She literally texted me before we started recording the show, like, I hope you have a great show, a little purple heart. Like,
yeah, no, and I'm not doing this to be funny. I'm doing this to really let you know that it could be some of this. All right.
No, I get it. And part of my conundrum is I got to jump to it, right? I don't have chit chat for 10 minutes and then be like, oh, hey, by the way.
I think it's going to make it harder on you, and it's probably not the best for her. I think, you just go in there and cut her throat.
Yeah. Well, all right, Valley Girl. I had therapy today, and I had a good session, and I was talking with Misty, and my head's been a little spinning of late because I don't know, I'm just back in this dating world and a little confused about a lot of things, but I need to tell you, like, listen, I've really enjoyed the time we've had together.
Me too. This has been the best. This has been the best 2 months of my life.
Well,
I
think you should
imagine my life without you.
You should really hold on to those memories because it's about to go from current events to memory. So.
Oh, that was terrible. That was terrible.
What? I'm trying to set it up.
You gotta be ready for her to jump in, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, just be like, this is where I would say, you know what? It's been nice for me too. I mean, I've really enjoyed getting to know you.
I just got a filibuster. I don't think I can let her jump in, right?
I don't know if you have a choice. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, try and filibuster as best you can. But if she jumps in, I think it's appropriate to say, you know what? I've enjoyed my time with you as well. Where I am at right now, you knew I wasn't looking for anything serious, and I don't want to continue this relationship. I don't.
Don't call it a relationship, though. It's not a relationship, right?
I don't want to continue this friendship where we have sex sometimes. Like, I don't know what you call it.
I just have to spit it out. Listen, Misty told me, don't say sorry. You're not sorry. I keep wanting to say, like, I'm sorry I have to say this, or I'm sorry I'm doing this.
I get it. You're right. And you shouldn't, but I get how you're feeling. I mean, I would feel the same way.
Listen, I have really enjoyed my time with you, and the last thing I want to do is hurt you. You're an amazing person, but fuck. You see how hard this is already?
Yeah, it is, dude. Yeah, it's tough.
Can you call Nick? Nick's got something to tell you. Can I give him?
Keep this in mind, dude. This is what I will say. You know what? This is why fuck people who say, you know what? It's easier to blow a relationship up and just be like, fuck you, get into a fight and we'll break up that way.
Yeah.
This is the way to do it. You know what I mean? It's hard, but this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
Well, what I would suggest is I would say, I would recap that when you started to talk with her and before you went out on your first date, you said, hey, we talked about how we were both free to go out and date and see other folks and that sort of thing. Yeah. And so, that's obviously been going on. And we agreed that we would be honest with one another about where we were and what we were doing and that sort of thing, because we're all adults here, and so I've been dating other than you. And, I went out a few times with another person that I feel a real strong connection with. and that I just kind of feel like I need to focus on that particular direction because I'm not somebody that is good at dating multiple people at one time.
Right. So this is the big conundrum I had. I had a female friend of mine 3 years ago when I was first dating tell me when I had to dump another woman when I met my ex. Emily, she told me, like, do not tell this woman that you met somebody else. No woman wants to hear that they lost, that somebody's better than them and you're picking somebody over them. And so 3 years ago, I did not get into that. And I was asking Misty today, like, do I get into I feel like I should just say, in part because she's going to listen to the podcast, that I should just be honest. Like, yeah, I did meet some of the other ones we're talking about, and I just feel like I have a stronger connection, and I want to pursue that, and I can't be with two people at once. And that feels like the honest way to do it. But even Misty was like, don't go there. Like, you can say you met someone else, but stop there. Like, don't get into the other side of it. That is not her business or concern. You simply need to tell this woman, Valley Girl, that I'm not getting what this relationship is not giving me what I was hoping for. I'm going to pursue something different or better. I don't know.
Well, but like I said though, as long as I think if you preface it though with reminding her of the conversation that you both had, because I remember you saying you had that conversation with her, and because then it kind of softens the blow, because it reminds her that this conversation was had prior to all this, and that you both agreed that you would be honest with one another. And there's going to be hurt feelings, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you remind them ahead of time that we talked about this and we agreed that we would be honest and that this is what I'm doing, I'm owning up to that. I'm honoring that, that we agreed on. I think that kind of makes it less hurtful, because you're doing what, the whole thing when they say what you mean what you say.
Yeah.
Now you're doing it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe you started out by saying, hey, in the spirit of our initial conversation on honesty and being upfront with each other,
absolutely,
I need to talk to you and just let you know that I've enjoyed our time together. And as of, the way I'm feeling right now, I need a break from just this in general. And it's, something I need to do. And I told you I'd be honest with you, and it's not to hurt your feelings. I think you're a wonderful person, but it's just where I'm at right now.
And that's correct. But then what she says, well, is there someone else? Did you meet one of the other top three?
You know what? I don't think it's appropriate to talk about it. Like, you know what? That's not what, even if I did, that's not what this is about.
Right.
I told you what this is about.
It is, but it's, it is, but it's not. I mean,
yeah,
it's not.
I don't know.
It's not. Yeah, I mean, you're not.
That
feeling
sounds so
sparks,
evasive,
right?
though. You know what I mean? That sounds like you've got something to hide. I know nobody wants to be coming in second and all that sort of thing, but I just think that when you say, I don't think it's appropriate if we talk about that, now you're not completing that what you agreed to, where you agreed to be honest.
Well, hold on. Yeah. Listen, part of me wants to say, like, yes, I did meet one of the others, and I am going to focus on that. If she then says, well, what's different about her? What's better about, then I would say, like,
exactly.
That's not the conversation we're having here. That's not relevant to you and me. Like,
exactly.
I've really enjoyed my time with you, but this just isn't what my heart was looking for.
But keep in mind, that's going to get you into an argument, I feel like. Because
but that's fine. Like, I won't let it go into an argument. If she starts going off on me, I'll let her vent and just say, like, listen, I'm really sorry. My intention with this was never to hurt you. I'm just trying to be honest that my heart wants something different, and I need to go down that path. So I'm really sorry. Oh, I'm really sorry. Go ahead and vent, and then goodbye. Like,
yeah.
I think that's right. You started out just like that and say, in the spirit of our initial conversation and us being upfront and honest with each other. Start it like that.
Yeah. But still, do I dangle out right away, though? Like, yes, I have met somebody, and it's something I feel I need to focus on that, and in the fairness to all of us. But
that's what I feel like could be an argument, because you had some weird agreement with her.
Well, if she wants to, yeah, listen, I had told her if I was going to go out with someone else, I would tell her just about the date that I was going to do it. She said, I don't want to hear about the details. And Nick and I both agreed after the fact, like, I shouldn't have said that. Like, I should only have to tell her if something is materializing. I shouldn't have to just tell her if I went on a first date with whoever, right?
Even if the date would have sucked, it would have been awkward and just not productive to bring that up with her.
Exactly.
Like, I did do another date. So,
Because you would only do that with a friend, not somebody that you were potentially being romantic with.
Right.
You know, so I don't. That's the thing is, you said that you told her that you would tell her if you were going on the dates, and she probably said, "Oh, that's cool." But I don't think she actually expected you to say, "Hey, you know, next Tuesday I'm going on a date with, you know, Jane," or next Wednesday I'm going on a date with, you know, Joanne. You know.
Yeah. It was a little vague. Part of me, the way I originally took it was, if you're going to go on a date, tell me. Like, I don't want to hear the details, but just tell me. And then talking to Nick, I was like, I should only have to tell her if something comes of the date, not just
exactly. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. So.
And I mean, if just like you're doing now, like if you're maybe the possibility comes that you're going to be intimate with somebody else in any fashion, whether you're sleeping with them or just fooling around with them, like that would be the time to either exit stage left or let me know.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. Even in our little run through here, I haven't actually spit any of this out. Like I need to get this down a little smoother.
Try it one more time. Try it. I mean, we've collected our thoughts a little bit here in the spirit of transparency and honesty, like we initially talked about when we started.
Well, here's my problem, though. I still don't know if I just kind of lay it out that, you know, I did go out on another date and I do, you know, I met somebody that I feel I have a really strong connection with and I want to go pursue that. That seems like the right way to do it. But my therapist was basically saying, like, no, that's too far. Like, don't get into a strong connection.
Same thing.
Right.
You know? Yeah, I wouldn't. You know what? Maybe if she asks you, did you meet, are you seeing somebody else or something like that? Maybe you could say it then. I wouldn't offer it up.
Yeah, Misty said at that point you can acknowledge, yes, we had talked about this, that I would see other people, but that's not what we're talking about right now.
Right.
This is about you and me, and I've enjoyed my time with you. I think you're a great person, but my heart just wants to, you know, pursue another avenue, and that's no knock on you. And obviously, my intention here is not to hurt your feelings; it's just to be open and honest with you.
That's perfect. Boom.
Okay.
I think it's perfect right there, dude. I mean, it's
Click.
short, caring, and complete. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could just text that, can I?
I wish you could, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you have that option, but you're not that kind of guy.
I got to man up. I mean,
you got to
know,
do it, dude.
These are big boy things I've gotten myself into, so. I mean, it's just like I said. I have a big heart. I have empathy. I don't like hurting somebody. But as my therapist said, your intention is not to hurt her. If your intention was, you would ghost her or text her or be a douchebag like that.
Yes.
So, and her point was, if she's going to be hurt, that's on her end. That's how she is taking this. She's an adult too that's gotten into the dating world. Mm-hmm. And then I said, but the problem is this podcast. She's going to go listen to it and hear the whole story that I do like somebody else and I am going to go pursue that. And she said, just like with your other ex, that is her choice to listen. And if she decides to listen, however that affects her, that's on her. That's not on you just because you have a public job.
She knows that we'll be discussing it, and she probably shouldn't listen. I mean, for her mental health, I wouldn't listen. I mean, I would do everything I could to stay away from that, right? So hopefully she won't listen to it, and things will go well for her, dude.
All right. So I'm still vague on the answer. Should I start off with, you know, we talked about the fact that I am going to see some other people and I did meet someone that I, you know, want to focus on. Or do
I think the way you said it, that my heart wants to explore different avenues right now. And I think you're a great person, but.
Okay. So just go straight to that.
Yeah. And if she asks, you can say, like we talked about, you know, we both had the option to date other people. That's where we were in our dating.
Yeah.
And I've done that, and I have found someone that I want to explore a little bit. That's not a knock on you. I think you're a great person, but
well, so right there though, you are saying to say that I met someone.
If she asks.
Only if she asks.
Only if she asks.
Okay. All right. So there you go.
Brewski, do you stand?
No, yeah, I think you know, I think so. Yeah. You know, my whole thing is just stay consistent, you know, stay on that same message that you shared with her when you both first started to see one another, you know, so that she's not trying to say that you blindsided her with this and you weren't upfront and honest with her. Reinforce that was the agreement and that you're honoring that, and that because then that way you're letting her know that your feelings your intentions have stayed true, and you're not trying to screw her over, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's all the reality of it. I didn't go into this to hurt anyone. I went into it to meet different people. And yeah, there's always the possibility you meet someone you click with and, you focus on them for a while. And by for a while, I just mean I'm not trying to propose to the woman tomorrow. I'm just saying let's go down the path and see where this goes. Cautiously optimistic is the word that I used in therapy today. And Misty said that is exactly where you should be. Optimistic is good. Feeling exciting is good. But, be cautious, be guarded, and proceed.
Are you at this point in time? I mean, are you good if a radio fan sees other people?
Yes. I mean, when we had this chat, she said the same thing of I've been doing some dating. I'm not real impressed, but I'm impressed with you, so I'd like to just focus on you. But if she called me and said yeah, I'm going to go out with Larry tomorrow night, I can't be a hypocrite about things. So I would say, yeah, go ahead. If something comes of that, just be open and honest with me. So I'm not dangling in the breeze, which I guess is what I'm doing now on the other side.
And if you have sex with her, well, you expect just to say hey, I'm having sex with someone else too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we ever had that discussion, but that would be something coming of a first date if you end up having sex with somebody. So that would fall under that umbrella of if something comes of it, you should be open and honest and tell me. So that's what I'm trying to do. And if it hurts her feelings, that's not my intention. So that's about all I can control are my intentions, right?
Yep. That's all you can do. Go into it with a good heart like you have, and just you got to take care of it, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yes, I forced myself into doing it today because the show will go live in the next 24 hours, and it would be a dick move to let her hear it like this. So yeah, I mean, Radio Fan and I are going out Saturday night, and I got a fun date planned and all that, so I have no choice but to do it before then. But what's the point of dragging it out a few more days, right? Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's respectful to her too,
Yeah. So there you go. That is the latest in the saga of the top three. And by the way, the professor, I sent her a nice Merry Christmas text, and I haven't heard from her since. And
that's done.
Yeah, I mean, and she had told me my January is really booked up. I got work trips and all that, but
you could still reach out and respond to a text.
Yes,
exactly. So I don't feel like that's certainly worth pursuing.
No,
I'll tell you, there's so much about Radio Fan that is just top shelf. I mean, she, spiritually, emotionally, sexually, based on our conversations and fooling around, she is drop dead freaking gorgeous. I don't know. At this stage of the first dating stages, I'm not sure what else I would be looking for. So if something
agnostic,
we haven't talked about that actually, but I don't get that gist at all that she's religious. And I told her that I was railing on religion and pissed off Brewski because I told her people on the show have been pissed off at me. So certainly you could be. So you may want to go listen and make sure you don't think I'm some flaming asshole before we continue down the road here.
Sure.
And I told her, I pissed Brewski off on religion. I was railing on that. And so, yeah, but no, I haven't actually specifically asked that. But, I get the vibe that it's not going to be an issue.
Yeah.
So my point is she's top shelf. There's nothing else right now that on paper I would go, oh, this one's worth a first date or second date. I would like to pursue this. And then if the relationship on its own deteriorates, then, keep my eyes open and whatnot. But
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, I feel I don't like hurting somebody's feelings, but I have to be true to what I want. And, I'm excited about where it can go with Radio Fan. So I'm trying to, keep that magic in mind as I do something I feel a little, mean about or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
There you go, dude. Well, we give you the seal of approval.
Oh, now you are a champion.
Right. The whole point of all of this stuff with documenting it was to pursue the path and see where it goes and share these experiences with everyone. And I'm sure you guys and people in the audience can relate to these sorts of ups and downs and conundrums of dating and whatnot. And part of me wishes I was more of a quote-unquote typical guy that would just text her or ghost her or say, who fucking cares, lady? But, that's not me. And so, yeah, but I got to be real about all this.
Absolutely.
So
You're gonna be
yeah.
a stand-up champion, Stephen.
So next week's show, I will have had this fun date I'm planning, and I will have obviously broken up with or ended dating or whatever we're calling this with
divorce
girl. Yeah, no, I got enough.
No.
Yeah. so yeah, so there'll be some fun updates coming on next week's episode of the.
And Steve, you gotta try injecting into a mouth. Flavors are unbelievable.
Yeah, I'll give you reviews. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
And yeah, I'm not trying to be a total horn dog, but we had a pretty in-depth discussion about likes and dislikes in the bedroom, and yeah, this should be fun. She checked every box I have ever talked about, done, fantasized about, or anything else.
Every box, there were none left unchecked.
No.
Any new boxes?
No.
I believe there is.
What?
I believe there may be.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry. There's a certain phenomenon that we have discussed on this show where she wanted to warn me ahead of time. Like, yeah, I may squirt a little, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
It's a phenomenon.
Right. So I was like, oh, hey, we talked about that in the show. You should see this clip. I sent it over to her.
You might want to invest in a set of rubber sheets.
It's funny. I have order a new mattress pad on my list of things to do this week.
Just nice. You're getting all prepared, dude. Like
layer of protection there.
You're getting fire ready.
Right. So yeah. So the good news is, I'm excited about what to come, and so yeah. So on we go in the journey. Who knows where it'll be a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, but I continue to be open and honest and share. So.
Well, as Steve and maybe Brewski too, I get a lot from a person in general, but especially a woman, when they reveal their musical taste to me. And so far, so good. I am excited to continue down this path to see what else she is into and what she is not into, which brings up my next topic, gentlemen. Cover tracks. Fan? Are you a fan of cover tracks, Brewski?
Depends on how they're done. I don't mind them, but
in a good cover, what do you prefer? Something that stays true to the song or something that they make into their own?
Kind of a little bit of both. Like staying kind of true to the original, but you're putting your own little creativity on it as well, because I can appreciate that. Everyone has their own interpretation of a song and what it sounds like to them, or what it would sound like if they were to do it.
Yes.
But if you start getting all, I don't know, just completely just ruining it, it's just,
where you can't even tell it's the same song, basically. I mean, I agree with you. I like a little bit of both in there. I want you to make it your own, but I want you to stay true and pay homage to the original.
Because it was the original that actually inspired you in the first place.
There you
go.
So
why would you go and completely deviate from it entirely?
Harness?
So, being a former full-time, musician and all that stuff, true bands, we sort of frown on covers because you don't want to be associated with a cover band, right? Like you're out there trying to write your own music and trying to do something. However, there are good examples of covers that you can implement, and quite frankly, there's been a lot of bands that their first ever hit is a cover. And if you're going to use it, like, just off the top of my head, Limp Bizkit did Faith by George Michael, and that was their first hit. And then if you've got more tricks in your bag, that's a good way to get the world to pay attention to you, and then you can build a career from there. If your only trick is covering some song, then I think that's weak.
I would agree.
But I am not into... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, please continue.
I'm not into note-for-note renditional covers that just sound like it. I've been on Spotify a lot, and I've got some Metallica channel. And Metallica, with some other singer, did a note-for-note cover of You Really Got Me. Was that the Kinks or something, I think?
Yes.
Yes,
and
then Van Halen, yeah.
Why would you just cover it? It sounds like the original. I don't even get this. Anthrax, I heard a cover of some other song where I'm like, it's a note-for-note cover. You're singing it like the singer. You're playing it like I don't understand the point of that. I'm not saying you have to totally change it to unrecognizable, although sometimes that is good, and I do appreciate that. Okay. But yeah, I think if you're going to do a cover, you got to put your own taste on it, your own spin on it. Otherwise, you're just a fucking jukebox cover band.
All right, we got a couple of varying views here, and I agree with you both a little bit. How about that? I will say this, that over the past Well, especially 10 years, I think covers have become more common for big bands to do.
Sure.
It used to be you would never hear a Metallica do a cover,
Right.
but they have become more popular over I would say about the last 10 years or so. So we're starting to hear a lot more of them.
I mentioned Radio Fan earlier sent me Mott the Hoople. She sent me All the Young Dudes. And I associate that song with David Bowie because he covered it for years and did a great cover of it. It was pretty close to note for note, but he did his own kind of a little flavor.
And Bob Dylan did it too, didn't he?
Did he? I don't know, actually.
I thought that he did.
I heard Bob Dylan once, All Along the Watchtower that Hendrix made famous. That's a Bob Dylan song.
Exactly.
And Bob Dylan famously said that I feel like I'm covering Hendrix when I play my own song now because he did such a great, version of my own song.
Yes, I would agree.
So yeah, I can appreciate that. And somebody like Dave Matthews that has taken All Along, or not All Along the Watchtower.
Yeah.
Is it that? Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the other one? Burning Down the House, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I appreciate somebody that sort of adopted it and makes it part of the live show. I don't know if I need to hear a studio version of Dave doing either of those songs.
Agree. Yeah. Dave Matthews does an incredible cover of Procol Harum's Whiter Shade of Pale.
Yes.
I love that song to begin with, but it's cool to when you have an artist that you love to hear him do a cover, because sometimes when I'm listening to music, I think to myself, like, I would love to hear the way he did that song, what his interpretation is. I'm really into covers. My rule on my radio program is that the cover for me to play it anyway, has to be as good or better than the original, or I'm not going to really play it.
Oh, and isn't it hard to be better than the original?
It is. I mean, that's a huge feat, right? Yeah, there are some people that have done it.
I don't want to hold Weezer up on a high shelf, but I'm telling you, their version of Africa is so much cooler than Toto's, original. So
Weezer is the king of covers. I mean, they cover songs very well consistently. They've done a lot of covers and done them well.
I just like that they rocked Africa out a little bit. Like it was so synthesizer 80s, and fucking Weezer, dunk, 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 like heavy distorted guitars. Like I can appreciate that. It's pretty close to note for note, but they rocked it out a little more.
Yeah,
you
Brewski, don't dig the track, Brewski?
I'm not a really big Weezer fan.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is a music thing, and part of it is a bad experience with Rivers Cuomo.
You have a lot of bad experiences with rock stars. They're really
when I say bad experience, this is what it was.
Yeah.
I got introduced to him at a club in Boston at TT the Bear's place, which is this little club in Cambridge, actually. This is when Rivers was going to Harvard. And this is, I got introduced to him by this chick I knew from this rock station where I worked. And he was just so fucking pussy. And he was like, "Hi, I'm Rivers, nice to meet you." And he had like this dead fish handshake. And it was just like, be a fucking man, shake my hand, I mean, golly.
Just got a bad vibe right off the
oh my God. Like he's like the kind of guy that is like holding his white girlfriend's purse and he's happy to do it. You know what I mean? Thank you, honey. Yeah, I'll hold your purse. I'm like, oh my geez. That was my quote unquote bad experience. It wasn't like bad per se. It was just, I guess,
unimpressed.
Yeah, you're like, holy jeez. Because you hear somebody playing a guitar and you think someone's rocking out on a guitar, and when they come in, that's your interaction with them.
Hey, dude, I understand it. A firm handshake is very important in my life, and I think it should be in yours as well.
But it was all sweaty. It was all sweaty, and it was like
dead
it was
fish,
all limp-wristed and everything. And
it's just funny to me that affects your opinion of his music, but I get it. I've met some musicians that are dicks. Where, like, I've never met him personally, but I know Adam Duritz from the Counting Crows has a reputation for being an asshole. And Stern even called him out and was like, dude, I love you, but you realize you're a dick when you meet people, right?
Now,
I still love the Counting Crows, but it takes my opinion of them down a little notch. You know what I mean?
Well, I will tell you this. I got Sister Brewski about a year ago, a cameo from Adam Duritz, and he sang to my sister.
What did he sing?
He started saying Becky, 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 and he had this, and the cameo was a lot longer than what normal cameos were, and he said, and it was really, really good. I think I still have it. I'll have to send it to you guys, but I was surprised that it was that good.
Maybe he's got his attitude straight, dude. I mean, maybe he's better off now.
Yeah. Well, and people,
you know what it is? It's kind of like me with Rivers Cuomo is like, it's like finding out like a boxer that like kicks ass in the ring is a complete pussy outside of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have one picture of this guy who's like a hard rocking dude, and then you meet him and he's just like all meek and mild, and you're like, what happened here? You know,
it's like if Tony Danza, gave me the limp fish when he shook my hand, I'd slap the shit out of him.
Listen, Tony Danza.
Come on.
I don't know if I think of Rivers Cuomo as like a hard rocking dude, like James Hetfield or something.
No, but you hear the guitars of some of their songs,
yeah, sure.
And you just kind of would think that a guy who played that like that would be just a little bit more, I don't know, just not as timid.
All right, Nick.
Yeah,
take the reins.
I'm going to take the reins from you. All right, we'll start out with this song here, and tell me.
Wait, what are we doing? Are you?
I'm going to play a little bit of the original, and then I'm going to play the cover. All right, you see if it meets the mark. All right,
thumbs up or thumbs down on the cover. Is that what we're going for here?
Yes, and you can tell me if you like the original track as well. Okay. All right. Make sure my levels are good on this. All right.
Yeah.
Give me a word, give me a song, show me where to look, tell me what.
There's a little music trivia too. That's Shine by Collective Soul. I've never been a huge Collective Soul fan. They're a good rock band that writes friendly rock songs. They're not reinventing the wheel. And Shine was never probably my favorite. Hollywood, I think, is one of my favorite from them. But
all right.
What's the one that BJ uses for his open?
Oh, I remember that, but I couldn't tell you the name of the song. But okay, so that was
September. It's called September. That's what it is.
You're right.
Yeah.
Very good. So okay, that was their first big hit.
All right. Are you ready?
I am.
For the cover?
Yep.
Hey, remember, don't talk during this, all right? Or it's not going to play. The audio won't come through.
Well, what if I want to cut this off or something? I just wait for you to tell me when to talk?
Give me a little hand signal, dude, and I'll take it down, all right?
All right, go ahead.
Give me a word, give me a sign, show me where to look and tell me what will I find? What will I find? Lay me on the ground, fly me in the sky. Show me where to look and tell me what will I find?
What do you think, dude?
No, thumbs down. Sorry.
It's not the right song for that particular person and that particular voice. I mean, I know who it is, obviously. It's unmistakable, but to me, that's not the right song for her to do as a cover.
I recognize who is it though?
Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's so funny because I mean, she treats this real serious. Like there's a video for this song and everything.
Yeah. Listen, part of our jobs is I listen to about 60 seconds of a song and I can tell if I can tell if I like it. I can tell if it's appropriate for the station or what we're going for or whatnot.
Yeah.
That one made me cringe right away. Like that didn't sit right with me.
Even before the vocals, you didn't like the picking and that version of it.
No, I'm all for doing the bluegrass version of whatever or something. Like what is it? The Gourds that does Gin and Juice.
Gin and Juice, yeah. That's what
I think it's a great cover. I like that they bluegrassed up Gin and Juice. Like that's cool. So no, I'm not just vetoing it on that premise, but that didn't sit right with me.
We give it the thumbs down and on to number 2, Casey Kasem. Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Can't hear it.
I can't hear it either.
Can't hear it?
No.
Nope. Not a thing.
All right. Don't talk, dude.
Yeah.
Can't hear it.
I hear the drum beat go in and then it disappears on me.
Exactly.
Hold on, dude.
Nope.
Oh, I can kind of hear it in the background. It sounds like it's Brick House by the Commodores.
It is Brick House by the Commodores. That's odd that you can't hear it.
Why can't I hear it? Take your levels down a little. Maybe it's peaking. Yeah. turn it up a little then, maybe. That's not it. There you go. That was coming in. Yeah. Okay, I get it.
You like
However
that
you're
track?
playing it there, the levels that was coming through. But yeah, okay, Brick House. Commodores, right? Is that what you said? Yeah.
Yes.
Not a fan of the original. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with your audio. It's cutting in and out. But okay, go to the cover.
Where's it cutting in and out? That was
I don't
the
know.
cover, dude.
Oh, it was? I can't. Yeah, try it again.
Here, let's see if this works. All right. Can tell me if you can hear this, all right? Original song. You like that song?
Depeche Mode, Personal Jesus. I always joke I have one on my dashboard. It's a bobblehead. And I went into my bank recently. The banker was like, "Do you really have a Jesus on your dashboard?" I was like,
No,
"Oh, thanks
you
for listening." Fuck no, I don't.
This I'd never heard this cover before, dude. And I think this is a great cover.
All right.
Another king of covers.
Your own personal Jesus, someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares. Your own personal Jesus, someone to hear your prayers, someone who's there.
I love the Man in Black.
Golf clap for Johnny Cash. I love Cash's cover album. So yeah, that even before I could hear Johnny sing it, it had a better vibe for me than the Dolly Parton thing. But yeah, Johnny's thumbs up. So that's cool. Dig it.
The way he took those strings, dude, and substituted them for the drum beat that starts out Personal Jesus was awesome. I think it's great. So.
Good example of taking it in a different direction, doing your own thing, and clearly Johnny Cash, and that's
you can still tell it's the song, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's my favorite kind of cover too.
Yeah. All right.
Woke up quick at about noon. Just thought that I had to be in Compton soon. I gotta get drunk before the day begins, before my mother starts bitching about my friends.
Of course, we love Eazy-E, right?
Absolutely.
Is that Easy Solo or is that NWA?
Well, that was technically NWA, because if you listen to that track, it starts off with Dre and Ice Cube having a conversation and calling Easy over from the piano.
Is that Straight Outta Compton? Is that what that was?
No, that's Boys in the Hood, and it's from the first album, NWA and the Posse,
right?
Which was before Straight Outta Compton.
Nice.
That also has
hoes and tricks.
That also has Dope Man on it, which is a really good song too.
Yeah. No. Cool. Into it.
I bailed outside and I pointed my weapon. Just as I thought, the fools kept stepping. I jumped in the flow, hit the juice in my ride. I got front and back, side to side.
Then I let the Alpine play. I was pumping new shit by NWA. It was gangster at the top of the list. Then I played my own shit. It went something like this. Cruising down the street in my 6'4" jock.
Brewski gives it the thumbs down right away.
Yeah.
What do you
think?
think?
It's a vibe. It's a vibe thing for me with that song. You know,
you want it to be hard. You like that it's hard.
Yeah, I want that it could be. It's someone that could be possibly dangerous doing that song. That there sounds like it's a bunch of suburban dudes just kind of rolling around in Daddy's Volvo.
It's exactly what it is, dude.
Right. I was kind of digging it. I was grooving it. A little bit of that chorus got a little cheesy for me, but no, I mean, I'll give it a thumbs up.
I think it's supposed to be a little cheesy.
Right. Who is that?
It's Dynamite Hack, and it is. I mean, it's just a bunch of frat boys wearing, sweaters and
sure.
Right. Well, I mean, speaking of the clip I was playing,
Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.
I love Ben Folds' cover of that song.
Yes. Yes.
So great, So that's a good example. I think the Ben Folds cover of that song was better than the one you just played, but I'll give it a thumbs up. I mean, it's not like something I'm going to vibe out to, but like if you're at a party or something, it's kind of a cool version of it.
We know the original song.
Shed a tear 'cause I'm missing you. I'm still alright to smile.
Doing the snake dance.
Girl, I think about you every day now.
He stole it from Davy Jones.
Really?
Well, watch the old videos of Davy Jones singing with the Monkees, and he's doing that dance back in the 60s.
Really? He does the snake?
Yeah, he does. He does. Just watch it. It's amazing.
Well, I'm glad the Monkees could originate something since they weren't a real band.
But the thing about it, though, is that obviously Axl being as tall as he is, it becomes a little more pronounced when he's doing it,
A little more snaky.
Yeah. Okay. What's the cover? I mean, if it's what I think it is, then. Yeah. It's playing weird.
Shed a tear 'cause I'm missing you. I'm still alright to smile. Girl, I think about you every day now.
I'm touching myself.
Was a time when I wasn't sure. You set my mind at ease.
Yeah.
There ain't no doubt you're in my heart now.
I mean, I know exactly who that. I mean, Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
That might be one of the cases. I mean, I love "Patience" by Guns N' Roses. I'm not trying to take anything from that, but damn, Cornell doing that song it's fucking magical.
It really is.
Because that it's like it's from the soul. Like he's pulling it out. He's giving all of it for that song, and because he respects the original, that he's putting all of himself into that. Absolutely.
He owned that song. He owned that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing but good things to say about the late great Chris Cornell, obviously. But yeah, no, that's a great cover for sure.
And he is a guy that if he's going to do a cover, I mean, when he did Nothing Compares to You, it's one of my favorite covers.
Yes, that was another great one he did. Absolutely. And that, by the way, is better than the original, hands down. And I know Prince wrote it for Sinead O'Connor, but Cornell doing it is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Now,
everything's mind-blowing by Cornell, right?
Yes.
There's a great cover, if I may suggest one here.
Please.
Do you know the song "Take the Box" by Amy Winehouse?
I do not.
It's actually, believe it or not, it's a Christmas song. And Amy Winehouse, if you haven't listened to a lot of her music, it's very kind of soulful and that sort of thing.
Sure.
And Dave Grohl's daughter Violet did a cover of it for their Hanukkah sessions, because Dave does the Hanukkah sessions every year where they do covers of Jewish artists during Hanukkah, and she does this version of "Take the Box" by Amy Winehouse, and it will blow you away. Listen to them both, and it will blow you away. I mean, she has an amazing voice. Both of them.
She's really talented. I agree.
Violet is just, the voice on her is out of this world.
Right on. I will check
it out.
Yeah.
Radio fan looks like Amy Winehouse. So just to show you how I connect everything back.
It's all you got a one-track mind.
Yeah, I got priorities. All right, go ahead. What's our next one?
I hear the train a coming, it's rolling around a bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on.
It's hard, dude. I mean, that'd be a hard song to cover, dude, because the original is just so fucking good, right?
And it's so Johnny Cash. So yeah. All right. I'm curious to hear who did what with this one.
I'd never heard it, dude. And you're going to have to, I mean, the clip in total is a minute long, and we don't have to go through the whole thing, but listen to it for a little bit to try and catch the vibe.
All right.
That train a coming, ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. Now I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, keeps dragging on. Train
just keeps rolling down the San Antonio.
What do you think?
No. I like the Prince House of Pain sample going on in there, but
it's Everlast.
Oh, is it ever? Okay.
Yeah.
No, is my no. I'm
Yeah,
not doing
it sounded to me like Cypress Hill at first with the
sampling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Maybe it wasn't House of Pain or Jump Around.
Same. I mean, it sounds similar, right?
Yeah. No, I mean that's not embarrassing, but no, I mean it. I don't think it did the song justice.
Yeah. No, when you do there's a video to that song as well, which I was like, I cannot believe it. Everlast did a cover of this and put a video out, but
I didn't even know people were still making videos.
It's got him singing basically next to a hologram of Johnny Cash. I mean, he's obviously like paying tribute to him, but I was just like, that's a tough one, bro.
That's treading on sacred grounds right there. So.
Yeah. I was not a fan of that whole Whitey Ford Sings the Blues album. I wasn't at all. I mean, I wasn't the biggest House of Pain fan. I actually liked his stuff prior to House of Pain when he was just Everlast, and he looked completely different. He was like coiffed hair and hits a song called "I Got the Knack," which is a really like as soon as you hear it.
Yeah. No, I like the Whitey Ford stuff, and one of the KRLT concerts at the Hard Rock we had Everlast. He opened up for Ice Cube, and I dug it. I dig his rock and roll bluesy kind of stuff. But
I just think that "What It's Like" song got so overplayed.
Well, sure, yeah.
Like so overplayed.
What's the song that I like? Put Your Lights Down.
Yeah, Put Your Lights On.
Put Your Lights On.
Hey now, little Stern reference there too. I like that.
Right.
So yeah, but no, sorry on the cover. Sorry, Whitey Ford.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you.
It used to be a favorite of mine, and the song's just been fucking ruined.
Is it 10 a.m. in Tahoe? Is that what we're hearing that song?
Right, yeah. That's for Brewski. That's the song that ends the morning show at our radio station.
Okay.
Yes. So every day at 9:58 a.m. that song plays on our radio station, and it's kind of wrecked the song a little for us.
So I told Steve one time, because I would like the chance to fuck with our morning guy a little bit, that I was going to keep the song and the audio vault at the title and stuff and put a new song in there because he doesn't, preview. And then I just haven't done it because I know he'd throw a hissy fit or whatever. But I thought about maybe I could get away with doing it with this cover, right?
Okay. I'd love to hear what somebody does with a Louis Armstrong classic. They've been with this.
Red roses too. I see them blue for me and you, and I say to myself.
Audio's messed up again on this one. It's hard. I can kind of hear it.
It almost sounds like the Ramones.
That's
like
Joey Ramone.
Yeah.
Interesting.
A little more rocking version, obviously.
Yeah. Listen, what I could glean from it, not embarrassing. Like I get it. I mean, it's a good approach to take to the song, but yeah, it's a hard one to replicate.
Yeah, it
is. I mean, it's so classic, right?
And I don't know what's going on with their audio, but whatever.
Oh, you had a hard time audio-wise hearing it?
Yeah, it was garbled a little bit.
Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down on, so I know. And if it's bad, I'll cut it. All right?
Okay.
Just a couple more.
Okay. Sure. Stones, classic.
Perfect. That song is perfect in every way.
Right.
I agree. Can't hear it.
Cuts in and out. Like I can hear the singer, but then it fades down when someone's not singing.
This audio bothers me, dude.
Yeah.
You know what? I think it's the whole doing it over Zoom. I think because it's got the two different. It's got the music and then the singer, and then it's cutting one out over
It's
the
like
other.
the left-right channel, or like canceling each other out or something.
Yeah. So who was singing that, Nick?
That was Puddle of Mud.
Huh.
Oh, I've heard their cover of that actually. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. You know, my former bandmate's playing on that song.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Boone. Yeah, he was with them when they recorded that album. So yeah, that's that's the spoon right there.
That doesn't sound like Wes. The little bit of the vocals that I did hear.
Can you try to play it again one more time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know why, but that played perfectly that time. Yeah,
I changed the setting.
Maybe I'm a little biased. I don't want to rag on Boone or anything, but no,
I
it's a
think
good
it's
cover.
good, dude. I mean, it's hard,
Yeah, it's
obviously, like Brewski said. The Stones' Gimme Shelter is perfect in every way, so it's hard to do a cover of that track, but I think they did justice.
They
Yeah,
did justice.
absolutely.
They certainly didn't
agree on that.
surpass it, but that's not embarrassing by any means either. But yeah,
No.
that's a good cover. They sound good.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've been around for a long, long year. Stole many a man's soul and faith. I was around when
Obviously, the Stones' Sympathy for the Devil, another song that I think is perfect in every way.
Yeah, these are hard songs to cover. So,
Brewski, this is going to get you off. I'm pretty sure, okay? Are your
Yeah.
pants on?
get your rubber sheets out.
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't figure it out until the end there. That's Lemmy, right?
Really?
With
Yeah,
Motorhead?
yeah.
Right on.
I
Now
thought
that's-
that was
that's-
fantastic, dude. I'd never heard that before.
That's 3 thumbs up all the way.
Nice. Yeah, right on. No, I dig
the
that.
left,
That's
the
cool.
right, and the one in the middle.
That's fine. As he was singing, I'm thinking like, God, I recognize, but I could. But then at the end, there, like, oh, that's Lemmy. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, nice.
Gone,
That's cool. No, I
gone,
never heard that
gone.
one before.
Yeah, me either, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, I dig
Yeah.
Higher Ground by Stevie Wonder. Are we going
Absolutely.
into the obvious one now, or what?
Obvious one, dude. But this was this is a song that they got permission to do, which I didn't ever know that. I was watching a documentary recently
Yeah.
and heard that they got permission to do this, which that's not, I mean, from someone like Stevie Wonder,
Right.
it's not just like given, yes, go ahead, please.
No. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Some bands use a cover as their first big hit to get the radio airplay, and then they've got stuff to stand on after that, and that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But give it a
Great
play.
example, right?
Yeah. Yep. Fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers. I love that version. I think I love it more than the original.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Boy, you shut your mouth.
Yeah,
Well,
they made that song their own, and it fucking jams. I dig it.
It does.
Well, I think you know what it is too, is it's the time and when it's recorded, because when Stevie did his version, that particular like really kind of funky sound sort of was what people were listening for, and then with the Chili Peppers and that the 90s there, that's what people were wanting at that time there. So it's giving people what they wanted to hear at the time.
Yeah,
and they're just done differently, but both done very well.
No, I agree. They're both great songs, but yeah, there's something about the Chili Peppers version of Higher Ground there that's pretty fucking rock on. So
perfect song for them to do. That's what I was talking about when I'm listening to certain music and I'm like, oh, I would love to hear them do this song. And that was the perfect choice for them, obviously.
Yep. Jack your mic back up a notch. You went down a little.
Let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on.
Big Tears for Fears fan.
Yeah,
absolutely. Love it.
Yeah, love that song for sure.
Shout, let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on, I'm talking to you, so come on. Shout.
Brewski is not digging, and Steve is kind of tapping along. What is it?
That's Disturbed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Down with the Sickness people. I don't know. Like, I kind of dig that, but it did sort of cringe me a little bit here and there. But God, that's a hard song to cover. I mean, it's kind of like the Puddle of Mud. Like, you know, I give you credit. You didn't surpass the original, but you didn't.
Sure. I mean, it's not totally embarrassing, but it just, I don't know. It doesn't
pay homage to the original song at all. I mean, other than the very quick intro.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, if it's going to be Disturbed doing it, obviously that's what I would expect from them. I don't want them to not be true to themselves, but it's just I don't think, again, it's the right song for them. Like I said about Dolly doing the you know.
Yeah. That's why I wanted your opinion, boys.
I dig it.
Last one.
All right.
Last one.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man.
Not said.
Is he strong? Listen, bud.
Obviously, the original Spider-Man theme song to the.
Yes, it is. And Brewski, what do you got there?
Oh, look at that. Brewski's holding up a DVD box set of Spider-Man, the 67 collection.
Oh, yeah, that's what this comes from. I watch this very frequently, I should say.
Nice.
Yeah, I've had it for a number of years. A friend of mine got
the same thing.
Yeah, and I love this. Absolutely love this.
I will tell you, that song is the first one I ever bootlegged, old school. When I was a little kid, I loved that fucking song so much. I took a tape recorder and held it up to the television and recorded the Spider-Man theme song, and I would listen to it over and over and over.
And like run around the house casting your web or playing or...
No joke. I used to wear a Spider-Man costume under my clothes, and I would run in the laundry room and take off my shirt, and I have a Spider-Man costume. And I learned how to shimmy up the door jams of doors, and I would like crawl up, and so I think I know where you're going with this one, but yeah, give it a go.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web in his size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man.
Obviously good, right?
The Ramones covering the Spider-Man theme song. I fucking love that cover. I think they rocked it out in an awesome way.
Yeah, and I'll never say anything bad about the Ramones. I mean, a band that I've seen a ton of times.
Nice.
And it's just it's someone that I don't know if I thought that they did a bad job, I might say it, but
right.
I can't.
But they did not. They did
not
a
at
great
all.
job of that.
Not
and
at
by the
all.
way, they did that. I don't remember what year that cover came out, but it was way before Spider-Man was in the movies and all that stuff. So
yeah, that came out
in
they
the
were
80s,
famous,
wasn't it?
that was actually on a whole album of Christmas of Saturday morning cartoon called Saturday Morning Cartoons Greatest Hits. Came out in the early 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a whole probably about 12, 13 tracks of it. If you look it up, there's a bunch of fun ones on there, and it's all artists of the time doing those cartoon theme songs.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Reverend Horton, he does the Johnny Quest theme song. And if you know the Johnny Quest theme song, like the big drums and everything, and and the Rev always brings it, and that he did a good job on that. But you'll like it.
No, I dig it. I love that the Ramones were a big enough Spider-Man fan that that's the song they gravitated towards. And I don't know if you guys remember, but when Stan Lee died, I put together a little video montage that had him talking about, you know, you're listening to Nick and Steve, a couple of super zeros, and will someone tell Steve Harness to get out of my garbage already?
Yeah, I remember that.
And my montage, and I think it was on the bumper too when we originally played it, goes from, you know, Stan Lee into the Ramones doing the Spider-Man cover, and I fucking love it. So.
And having a New York City band do it, and Spider-Man obviously being in New York City, it just works out. It just works perfectly.
Just made good sense.
Yep. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for playing the cover game with me, fellers.
You're welcome. I'll be curious to see how many flags YouTube gives us for this, but I'll let you know if we get through the copyright infringements. I think we played short enough that it won't flag too badly. But.
Hopefully so. Hopefully so.
All right.
And if anything, Spotify's not going to flag us for it. So.
Yeah, exactly. You cool kids listening to the full podcast, you get to hear it all. So.
Hey, speaking of which, quickly, any new listeners on the map, Harness, worth mentioning?
Yes, but no. I haven't made notes this week. I have been so fucking overwhelmed this week that I don't know if you guys even know. I haven't even posted episode 20, the video version. I haven't had time to edit it all together yet. So
sure.
I've looked at the map a couple of times this week just to see, you know, people are downloading and whatnot. And I want to say we had somebody new in the New York area again, but no, I haven't been taking my notes like I usually do to share with you all.
It's all right. Just wondered. Just wondered. And
no, there's a new dot in Reno. I can tell you that.
It's getting orange quickly.
Right. The things I do to get new listeners for you guys.
You selfish bastard.
Right.
Listen, have fun with everything. We'll be curious to know how the Saturday date went, and hopefully how your breakup or your ending of your dating ship goes.
Yes. It's not a breakup. So, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
All right, everybody. Well, yeah, thevocalminority.net. Find us on all the socials. Send us. And if you've made it 3 hours into this, we love you for it. Keep sharing us online. Help us keep growing this bad boy.
And rest in peace, Lisa Marie Presley.
Yes. Oh, yeah, we got some bodies. We're going to have to do it next week. We're going to have 20 more dead celebrities at the pace already. So.
They're dropping like flies, dude. So we'll do it next week.
Yeah, it's weird. So, yeah.
All right. See us online like Stefan said, thevocalminority.net. And until next time.
Peace.
Goodbye.